Hey, what's going on, my people? Thank you for tuning in, ProFat Guy. So, I got a special live coming up today. So, I got a special live coming up today, and I want to make sure that I cover a couple of things before we get started with the live today. And I want to make sure that So, with that said, I want to talk about a few things first. So, I have not been doing a lot of live videos recently. I think the last live video I did was probably about 3 weeks ago. Reality, I've been busy. I've been doing a lot recently, so I really haven't had the time to make that happen. Uh, So, last few videos I put up were a couple of resorts. So, one resort I went to a while back, one resort I went to recently. Um, got a lot of good feedback from those videos, and even though those two resorts were like low quality, I did find them to be enjoyable. And I think that if you were ever coming to DR or you actually live in DR, those would be a good place to go to if you just want to get away for a weekend, right? Apart from that, I have another video that I'm going to be putting out soon. More of a cultural video related to the Los Misterios. You'll find that one come out real soon. And I got a trip coming up in the future, in the near future. I'm not going to say where I'm going, but when I do a pop-up live or when I come out with some videos, you'll see that, hey, that's where he went. So you can see that real soon. In addition, I got to make a quick run back to the States real soon, so you'll be seeing that. And that's basically it. So today's topic is basically everything travel, which is most of my live, most of my videos are. But today I'll be covering with my special guest. I'll be covering Black men traveling, the whole, I guess, YouTube, social media. Topic that's been going on in the YouTube and social media space on Black men traveling or passport bros. So my special guest, we want to touch on that. We're also going to touch on certain topics in relation to Santo Domingo and the Dominican Republic and Colombia, and we're going to hit on some other things as well. But firstly, before he jumps on and before we get to all that, I do want to discuss sort of Santo Domingo and how a lot of people dismisses the city and dismisses the country. Firstly, I know that the Dominican Republic is the #1 tourist destination in the Caribbean and one of the most busiest, one of the most sought after tourist destinations in the world, right? Why is that? Well, firstly, I can tell you that the Dominican Republic is not it's the biggest economy in the Caribbean. So when you look at that, you already want to see the influence that the country has on the region and the world as well. Another reason is it's in the Caribbean. There's lots of great beaches, a diverse open-minded people. It's 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 close distance to the United States and Canada, and I guess right across the pond over to Europe. So that's why the Dominican Republic is such a huge attraction. Another thing is the country does a great job marketing. Yeah, they can do better. You know, the businesses here, the establishments here, the government here can do better, but they do a great job on its own right now, and they do a great job by bringing people in. Um, just recently, I was just doing some research on some close family members I know who are interested in traveling, or close friends I know that are interested in traveling. So I'm trying to give them ideas. Look, if you're coming from the States, where can you go? Where can you go for cheap? Where can you go that's close by if you don't like being in an airplane for a long time? What are your options? And based on my research, I find that the Dominican Republic, I know I'm usually biased towards the Dominican Republic, but it's a great option. And that's why a lot of folks come here. But another one I want to mention is Jamaica. Jamaica is similar to the Dominican Republic, where in their distance to the United States and Canada and Europe, but also the cost of living in Jamaica is on par with the cost of living in the Dominican Republic. So when you look at that, that's going to have a huge impact on the cost of hotels, the cost of getting around, the cost of services and products and things of that nature in country. So that's what you'll find in Jamaica, very similar to the Dominican Republic. That's why you'll find that Montego Bay has a huge infrastructure as far as tourism is concerned. So you can say that Montego Bay may be on somewhat level, the same level as Punta Cana, or near to the same level as Punta Cana for Jamaica. Montego Bay has great flight connections. They have a lot of resorts, affordable resorts at that. So you're not going to be paying that same amount of money you would pay if you were going to the Bahamas, or if you were going to some of the smaller Caribbean islands such as Barbados or Saint Vincent or Antigua or Saint Martin or Guadeloupe or Martinique. Look, those countries are more expensive, and you'll see that when you're out there looking for hotels and resorts and all of that. It's more expensive to travel to those countries. But in the Caribbean and close distance to the United States and Canada and Europe, you will find that the best options really Dominican Republic and Jamaica. I got you, brother. I got you. So that's my special guest. That's my special guest for those who don't know. So he's gonna popping off real quick. So I'm gonna just finish this whole tourist things. So with that said, I highly recommend you guys look at traveling outside the country. And cruises are cool, but I think the best way to get the sense of a country, the essence of the country is, yes, you want to be comfortable, you want to be safe. So yeah, go to the resorts and the famous hotels and things like that. But definitely venture out and go on some tours and maybe stay off the resort for a couple of nights and get the feel of the country. And the best countries to do so on a budget is the Dominican Republic and Jamaica. So definitely, if you're looking to travel, look at those two countries. With Dominican Republic being a larger country, they'll probably have more connections as far as flights are concerned, more options. So you may find that to be more convenient depending on where you're coming from. But at the same time, hola, ¿cómo está? Emil, ¿cómo está? So you'll find that at the same time, it'd be really cool to venture out and travel on a budget. And the best places to do so is Dominican Republic and Jamaica. You know, Jamaica's a smaller economy. The cost of living is similar. The hotels and resorts are on par. So, and they all speak English, even though they speak more of a patois, but they speak English. You'll find it to be more convenient as far as traveling. Also, one thing I found is, well, I already know this, but I want to share this with some of you travelers, some of you people who want to travel who may not be seasoned travelers, is when you look at I'll say this. There is a website, and I'm going to type this in right now. Let me get the name of the link that I highly recommend folks check out. So that's not it. Let me look over here. So this website that I'm going to share, let me put this in the chat right here. Type it in. Basically here. So I'm going to do so basically there. So what is that? That is a link that folks can go to. So they have a particular, they live in a particular city. So in this case, you hear that I put up, it says Miami, right? MIA is the airport code for Miami. You will go to that website and / whatever your airport code, in this case, Miami, and they'll show you all the destinations for flights going out of Miami. Why is that important? It's important because you'll be able to see the direct flights from that particular airport. So, and the direct flights are always cheaper. So if you are living in, I don't know, Cincinnati, or if you're living in, Philadelphia, and you want to get to Montego Bay, or you want to get to Punta Cana, or you want to get to some other place, you'll be able to look for that direct flight going out of the airport. You put in the airport code, you'll get that direct flight to your destination, which in most cases is cheaper for that direct flight. And if you have to do a layover, oftentimes it's more expensive. So I highly recommend checking that out. Whenever you're planning to go someplace, it'll help you with your budget. And there it is. So I got my man BakPakVal coming in. Well, I want him to introduce himself, but
allow me to reintroduce myself.
My man, you hear me? There you go. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, man. I'm just got finished, running my errands or what have you not. And yourself?
Yo, man, I'm great, man. I'm glad to have you, man. Thank you for taking time out to come on this live, man.
No, it's not a problem. Thank you for having me.
Yo, I saw a few of your videos, but the first video I saw was one you put out maybe 2 weeks ago on Santo Domingo.
Yes.
So I was like, man, this guy, this information is vital. No one's saying this. So then I check out all your other videos. I was like, yo, I want to have this brother on my channel because I like his content.
Thank you, man.
And also I see that you don't put out a lot of content, man.
No. It's only whenever I'm on vacation, but I've been told like, hey, like Val, you need to put more content out as of lately. So I've been, dedicating my time towards, putting out more YouTube material because I'm starting to believe in, what I can do. Because at first I was just doing it to do it, but people are starting putting the word in my ear. So I'm like, you know what? Let me take it more seriously than what I've been doing previously.
Yeah, because I saw that you don't have a lot of videos, but you have some great content in the videos that you have put out. Great content.
Thank you, man.
So I'm thinking that, man, you're able to take the time out to put out more content, and then the videos, the views you're getting and your subscriber count is consistently going up. I mean, it's going up, quite a bit in this past 2 weeks. I've been following.
Yeah, yeah.
3 weeks I've been following.
Yes,
So,
sir.
so yeah, man. Like, I'm pretty sure, give it another month or two, depending on how much content you put out.
Yeah, man. God willing.
Get to that monetization
God
status,
willing.
man.
God willing, man. Thank you, man. I'm humbled by everything you said, man. Honestly.
Yeah, no doubt, man. But first, I want to jump on here, man. A lot of my viewers watching this, I got 13 right now.
Awesome.
They have not. They don't know. We probably don't know who you are. Haven't seen your videos. So
wow.
reintroduce yourself. So Val, man, where you from, man?
Me, I'm from New York, originally the state. Born in Brooklyn, raised in Queens. Well, from Queens. Currently, I'm living in Poughkeepsie, which is about an hour north of New York City. Hour and a half north. Yeah.
And what got you into traveling?
Traveling? That's a funny question because the answer is within the question. It took me to travel, you know what I mean, to actually get me into traveling. So the very first trip was in, as you know, Santo Domingo. Well, technically Canada, but that was more of a family trip, so that doesn't count. Yeah. My first real culture shock, so to speak, was my first experience traveling to Dominican Republic for the first time. Boca Chica more so, but Santo Domingo, Boca Chica, that was my first time, and I was just like, wow. The very moment that hit me, I was I met a girl out there, right? Mm-hmm. And I was at her house, and I asked her, I'm like, how much did you pay for all this? Like rent? She told me $150. I was like, whoa. Like, because when you compare like that to what we pay in the States, what have you not, it's like what? We paying 10 times, 11 times more minimum on average. So once I started thinking about that, I was like, nah, there's no way like I should be paying like what, $1,400 rent here when I could pay $150, $200 for something pretty decent. It was pretty decent. I'm not gonna even lie. The apartment was a little bit overvalued to be at that price point. Yeah. So I'm like, man, these people are out here living not as bad as what our country portrays it to be. Yeah. So it just got me really curious and wanting to, explore more in depth within the country. So as I kept traveling, I just kept finding things that, that I liked and took interest to me. And I found out that I have many family there because I'm Haitian. So it just, like the whole experience for DR just makes it different because now it's not only just about leisure and vacation. I have people that really do care about that, live there, and I've cultivated a lot of friendships as well out there. So it's just like me going out there to visit is a lot different from, the average guy who comes out there for the weekend and what have you not. So I grew an appreciation for that place.
That's dope, man. And I didn't know that you were. I saw that you had like a Haitian flag somewhere in one of your videos. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to make the assumptions. I never heard you actually say it, but that's dope, man. And I think that already answered one of my questions that I have is your connection to DR because you go a lot, right?
Oh yeah, I go a lot. I think I've been there now 10 times, and I started traveling to DR at the year 2017 or 2018. I forgot. I've been to DR at least 3 times a year. This year I've been there 4 times.
And I think I heard you speaking Creole.
Yeah, well. In one of my videos, I did speak Creole. I did. When I was in Sure.
So you speak Creole?
I do. Leave it to a Haitian to tell you like, his Creole is not good and whatnot, but they understand me. I understand them. Yeah. Deal with it, Like they always want to give, first generations problems when it comes to speaking the native tongue. So that's just the criticism I get from my people. Gotcha.
All right, brother. So with that said, what brought you to YouTube?
What brought me to YouTube? That's a good question. So before I took an interest in not taking an interest, but before I traveled to Dominican Republic, I like to do a lot of recon. So I do my YouTube research and whatnot, and I see a lot of travelers, go there like Flip Flop, the Bull Rigs, the J Rods. This was all during quarantine as well. Yeah. And I'm seeing them all, work and talk about Sasua and what have you not. And something about it was just motivating at that time period, being that, we were in a pandemonium. I don't want to say the whole word. Yeah. I was just depressed, couldn't leave the house really, couldn't really do much. And I'm just seeing people that are really just like out on vacation talking about, living their life, enjoying it, not really going through the things that I'm going through. So I'm sitting here like, I could do what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I would enjoy doing what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like, I got to plan this out so I could eventually get to where they're at, you know?
Yeah.
So that's where that came from.
So do you work remotely, or are you like
No, I don't. I have a 9 to 5. I like to keep that disclosed. I mean, we could talk about it off air, but I do have a 9 to 5. I'm just really good at flexing out my schedule, so I can take vacations when I want and what have you.
I just want to give my man Q, thanks a lot, man, for the
Easy,
donation.
man.
I really appreciate it. I appreciate
Oh,
it.
he's in Dominican Republic as well, I see.
Yeah, he lives in I mean, I don't want to tell the brother where he lives, but
he out there.
I appreciate it, man. Hey, so you started YouTube post
Pandemonium.
yeah,
Post.
or during.
Last year, it was last summer of August. Last August, I did it. Like end of August, I want to say like August 29th was when I dropped my first video. I was in Santa Marta at that time.
Okay.
So we were kind of still in the midst of it, but you know, coming out of it, so to speak. Because Colombia had just dropped their whole curfew, the toque de queda at that time.
Gotcha. So, but you were coming to DR like way before then, the pandemic.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But it wasn't until the pandemic. Well, my bad. The peak where it happened is when you actually started doing YouTube. So, did you have a plan in mind when you started your channel, how you were going to do the channel, or you were just going to just be putting out?
I did at first, but then I kind of deviated from the initial plan because it all started with like the first video. I just felt like I had to talk about it because it was regarding scopolamine in Colombia and whatnot, and it was going hot at that month. I don't know what was going on, but like every 3 or 4 days or so, you were hearing a story, and I was in Colombia, so like I was hearing more so than what the common folk was hearing. So like I just felt propelled to just come out with the video. So like that was like out of schedule and whatnot. I just threw it out there. And then a week later, I had a near-death experience when I was out in Santo Domingo walking at night. So I felt propelled to just, throw a video, share my experience about that as well. So that's how I pretty much got my foot into YouTube at that point. Like I had a plan and everything, but due to a series of events, acts of God, I just had to do it a different way and just work off of that.
Got you, brother. I mean, you can just jump into Q real quick. Hey, Q, man, congratulations, man, to your anniversary. Now, Q, he got a dope YouTube channel.
I'll check it out.
As much videos right now as used to in the past, but he will put out a video almost every day. There's on various topics from his balcony in Boca Chica. I met him in person. Real cool dude, man. Retired Army. I was in the Army for many years.
Awesome. Served in the Air Force. So that's what's up.
Oh, you in the Air Force?
Was, yep.
Well. Hey, we're gonna talk about that. So and he living out there, man. I met him a while back in person. Real good brother, man. He has a lot of great information, and I like his focus on health while being in this country because sometimes we can forget about that when we're having so much fun here.
Oh yeah, that is something that's not talked about quite a lot. But I'm gonna check his channel out, most definitely.
Yeah, definitely. So I know you say you don't work remotely. You got a 9 to 5, but do you have I mean, you travel a lot, man. You put out some great content. Do you plan on like leaving the country or?
Oh, absolutely. That's inevitable. Next summer, I plan on leaving the country. Don't know for how like long. The time period is indefinite, so to speak, but I want to go to Colombia for 6 months minimum next year. Okay. 6 months minimum, 6 months to a year. I want to travel out the entire country because I've seen many things about the country that I do like, that I want to like really like, travel and give you guys an in-depth, analysis of what Colombia really is about. So that's my plan for next year, next summer, actually.
Where in Colombia and why?
Where in Colombia? So my base will be in Medellin, and then I'll just travel out from there. Why? Medellin, so to speak. I like the fact that it's cost effective, honestly. And it's just a home away from home. Being that I'm from New York, the ebbs and flows aren't totally different from that of New York. It's just cheaper, so to speak. My Spanish is pretty good. I understand what's being spoken to me, and I can convey the message back. So talking, getting around is not a problem. Having money is really not a problem. The woman is gorgeous. The weather's always reliable. Yeah, Medellin is that place to be. And I saw a lot of different other like areas in Colombia, not even like the obvious ones like the Cartagenas and the Calis and what have you. Now I'm talking about different cities that I don't even want to name because I don't want to give it all away right now. That I was just like, wow, nobody's covering this.
Yeah.
I'll be the first.
Yeah, though I remember specifically with Colombia, the first time I saw a video that someone going out to Buenaventura, I was like, finally, someone went out to Buenaventura.
I remember, yes, Sheck was one that.
Yeah, Sheck went out there. Yeah.
I don't think I would go there, honestly. Like, to be completely honest. But
it's rough, huh?
It's pretty rough, yes. From what I've seen, from what I've heard, from what I've researched, I think I'll pass.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. I went out to Colombia for the first time earlier this year.
Oh, really?
Medellin, Cartagena, and Bogota.
What was your take?
Colombia is dope. Now, I understand why a lot of folks go to Colombia.
Mm-hmm.
I understand. I can see myself spending an extensive amount of time in Colombia, but I don't see myself living there.
I hear you.
Yeah, but Colombia is cheaper than Dominican Republic.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
It's cheaper. They manufacture a lot of our products there.
True.
You'll find that a lot of services are cheaper, and it's just a lot more going on.
I feel like there's that and the accessibility as far as when you want something, how far something is to go and attain it. Like
it is.
I feel like
and also the infrastructure is much more put together.
Modern.
Absolutely.
Way more modern. Like I would say Santo Domingo is a work in progress. Like, but when you branch out of like the national district, then it doesn't leave that much to be desired. So I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Hey, man, I live in Santo Domingo Norte, man, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Got you.
I know exactly what you're talking about, man. So let me ask you this. So what we just talked about Colombia, but what do you like most about the Dominican Republic?
What I like the most about the Dominican Republic? That's a good question. Like, where do I begin? Because I can't just give you one answer,
Yeah.
I just like the fact that the way people just go out and live their life. When I was out there, of course people, think about getting money, like, but it doesn't really control their life like the way I see it happen in the United States.
Yes.
Or maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way, but I feel like money just has so much of a grip in our society, in our westernized society in the United States, as opposed to Dominican Republic. Like, people are a lot more at ease. You could walk across the street, say hi, and you'll get a reply back. Mm-hmm. You can ask for directions. People will give you directions. They'll take time out their day to give you those directions. Whereas back home, people don't have time for that because they feel like they have more important and pretentious things to do with their time. True. Which, revolves back to, making money, or so to speak. But I just feel like, I don't know, the culture out there is just a lot more genuine than that of the United States, where I just feel like it's lost. We don't have one anymore. Yeah. So there's an identity to the Dominican Republic as opposed to like where I live in the United States. There really isn't any. So that's one. Another thing that I like about the Dominican Republic, it's that atmosphere. It's fun. Like, Dominicans, they have shameless fun. You know what I mean? Like, they know how to party and they know how to have a great time, and they don't hide that from anybody. It's like, hey, this is how we are. It's either you accept it or you can get out of here. So that's another thing I like with that. The beach, there's something about the beach is that it's so euphoric. It's really therapeutic just being around the beach, just sitting down and just watching everybody just having the time of their life and what have you, not eating the seafood out there. Ah, man, it's like life begins when I leave the country, and I'm most likely going to the Dominican Republic. So I
Yeah,
feel like my life begins when I go to the Dominican Republic. Like it's just, I never realized how much I dislike or like the disdain I had for my country in the United States until I went to the Dominican Republic. Like,
got
yes, there's a lot that needs to be improved there, but I would take that than what I'm dealing with right now in a heartbeat.
gotcha, gotcha. And but you, I know you just mentioned that you plan to go more to
Yes.
Medellin for. Is that permanently, or would that be
6 months to a year.
okay?
I'm not gonna know if I love it like that to extend it beyond that. But like going to Santo Domingo and doing the same thing is definitely something within the plans as well. I just rather do Medellin first
Gotcha,
or
gotcha.
Colombia first.
So with Medellin, do you feel like you'd be missing the like the beach? Because look, man, there ain't no beach nowhere near Medellin.
No, 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 no. That's a good mention. While I love being around the beach atmosphere and what have you not, it wouldn't kill me if I wasn't around one. And if I like really felt the need to go, I could just take a flight, a pretty affordable flight to Cartagena or Santa Marta and enjoy the scenery there is here, even though it doesn't compare to that of the Dominican Republic. But
Hey, break it down for me. Santa Marta. I've never been to Santa Marta, but I know it's the oldest city in Colombia, oldest European city in Colombia.
Colombia,
So
so it looks. Yeah, so it looks.
yeah. So I like to know more about like how did you like it? What's it like? Is it similar to
Uh,
Cartagena?
this is really subjective, honestly. I was in Santa Marta for a month last year.
Uh-huh.
Whew, let's just say I spent 3 longer weeks than I should have. Santa Marta is more of like a romantic getaway. I would say for about 3-4 days tops.
Okay.
If anything beyond that, you've been there for too long.
Yeah.
It is really nice. It's pretty easy going, what have you not. Like you said, it's the oldest city in that of Colombia. Everything looks pristine from like the time it was made. So there's like a medieval time look, like Colonial Zone, right? Zona
Yeah.
Colonial.
Yeah.
Something similar to that,
Okay.
but a lot more, a lot more rustic and older looking. So like you could tell like how things were going back in time just by looking at the whole architecture of the place. But Santa Marta, I definitely feel like it's worth the visit one time if you're out there in Colombia, but I wouldn't make it like your whole vacation. I wouldn't say like, oh, go to Colombia and then spend all your time in Santa Marta and then leave and go back to where you're coming from. I would say like while you're out in Colombia, go see it and then go back to your regular scheduled programming. But yeah, I wouldn't.
Gotcha. So going back to DR,
Yes.
if you could spend more than like 6 months to a year in DR, where would you rather?
Santo
Where would you
Domingo.
stay at
Santo Domingo for
DR?
sure.
San Domingo. Gotcha.
Yeah, and that would be my base, and I'll travel out all the way from there.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like without a doubt. Like I didn't even let you finish the question.
Yo, so if you could not choose Santo Domingo and DR, what other place would you do it in DR?
Oh man, why are you doing this to me, man?
I really want to know because I want to know how folks think. As far as like not too many folks would choose Santo Domingo over.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
Like a
exactly.
Puerto Plata.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
that's
asking.
cool. And that's funny that you ask. I really wouldn't even make it a choice to live in the North Coast. The furthest I'll go North Coast, if that's even considered North
Yeah.
Coast, is Santiago. That would probably be my second go-to.
Yeah.
Wouldn't necessarily be too happy about it, but
Yeah.
yeah, I could do with Santiago. I could do Santiago.
Yeah. And with Santiago, my second choice, maybe I can probably do it, but if the thing is, it's just it seems like it's not. There's no beach. And I
Yeah,
know Santiago, it rains there more than other
true.
parts, so that's the only reason why I would be hesitant with Santiago. But that Santo Domingo is where it's at. I just hit the traffic, man.
Yeah, the traffic is pretty ridiculous. I can't even lie to you. Like something that's supposed to be a 10-minute drive could take up to an hour. It's ridiculous.
It is. And I go into, I live in Santo Domingo Norte, but I got to go into the National District a few times a week, man.
Oof.
Just like mentally preparing myself and having to, after I'm finish work or leaving work early, so I can go out there, man. You just gotta mentally prepare yourself, man, because it's just the traffic and then the Mario Kart style of driving will drive you crazy.
Oh my gosh. The driving out there is pretty lawless. I can't even lie to you. Like, I've got, like, my last trip in Santo Domingo, I've gotten into 2 accidents. Now, that's 2 accidents. That's 2 more accidents than I've ever been to in my whole entire life. Yeah. Ridiculous, bro. Ridiculous. And I wasn't at fault for either of them. I'm not trying to, like, stunt on the YouTube for
I got you.
I wasn't at fault for either of them. But, hey, when you're in the Dominican Republic, if you're a gringo, you're going to have to pay up. You're wrong whether you're right or wrong. So
you had to pay up?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
On the spot or later down the line?
On the spot. Yeah, on the spot. At first, there was talking about and what have you not, but like my own guilt, like seeing the motor. Oh man, like the motor control guy's hands was bleeding, knees shot, and whatnot. I was like, I gotta take care of the guy. But I gave him 10,000 pesos, $200, give or take, right? Yeah. And I felt like, he was happy that he got hit because he was more thankful for the money than like anything else. Like, I can't lie to you. I really can't lie to you. Like, I really felt like.
So was there a little bit of acting in there? Like, was the dude, putting on a show a little bit?
Woo, it's hard to say because it's like, so what happened was, he cut in front of me with the passenger, right? Yeah, talk about driving irresponsibly. He cut right in front of me, leaving me looking in his face. Then there was a speed bump, like right there. So he had to press on his brakes, and so did I. So with that being said, I tapped the back of his motor concho, and then him and his passenger just went up and flipped in the air and just slid right onto the floor. I was like, wow. My eyes couldn't believe what I just saw. Just seeing the way they just studied on the floor, I was like, oh no, I don't know if they're okay. They were, but I couldn't sit with my conscience, like seeing them the way they were and not feeling like I shouldn't help in any way, shape, or form. Like, honestly, I probably didn't even have to give him that much, but I really wanted to make sure that he was going to be okay.
Gotcha. So with that said, through that experience, have you been less hesitant to drive now in the Dominican Republic, or no?
Definitely. It's not going to stop me. It's definitely not going to stop me. Mm-hmm. But I have to be twice as more vigilant when I'm driving because I was told like the number one rule in driving in the Dominican Republic is let the motor conchos do their thing. It's their world. They're living in it. And I follow that to the T. But like things just happen. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I've been grateful that I haven't had an accident since I've been here. I don't drive. I don't have a car.
Okay.
But I do rent a car every once in a while. And
understood.
Gotta be. And I don't drive at nighttime. I don't do that.
That's the only time like now I feel like driving. But I understand why you wouldn't drive in the nighttime, being that it's Santo Domingo, what have you not. So I understand to a degree why you wouldn't. I just I hate to drive during rush hour because like that's where the road gets a lot more frantic, So like either early morning or late at night in Santo Domingo. Puerto Plata, I could drive, at about any time of the day and whatnot because it's a lot different.
Yeah. I only rent SUVs because the roads here are so bad.
Yes.
Speed bumps. Potholes all over the place.
Yeah.
Only SUVs.
Oh man. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. Like manholes on the road.
Yeah. But you do see this. I mean, I know in Santo Domingo Norte they have a mall. The only mall you would think in Santo Domingo, the metro area, you got like malls in Santo Domingo Oeste, National District, but there are no malls in Santo Domingo Norte.
Really?
They're building one Yeah, it's in construction now, and that whole road that leads to the mall has just been redone. So there are no more potholes. You know, they're
Okay.
preparing. You know what I'm saying? It's more of an upscale area in Santo Domingo Norte that they're putting together over there.
Understood. A
So
quick question: how does it fare to that of like a Piantini Naco or Los
not really,
Caligados?
not the same, because that
Okay,
area is all concentrated and it's all like beside each other.
understood.
So
Okay,
if I can make the comparison, um, you know San Isidro in Santo Domingo Este, right?
San Isidro.
Yeah, along that San Isidro, I think it's an avenue, San Isidro Avenue, or Pista San Isidro, something like that. It's what about Avenida Ecologica? I tell you what, they have an avenue out there in Santo Domingo Este where they're like building
Este or Oeste?
Este.
Este. Okay.
Yeah, where they're building stuff up. Over there is what is potential. No, you know, let me break it down this way. You know where the Dominican, where the United States Embassy is in Santo Domingo Este?
In Santo Domingo Este? No, I do not. I
Yeah,
do not. I actually thought that was nearby the colonial zone, like Dominican White House area.
yeah,
No.
yeah. So it's on the other side of the National District.
Yep.
So over there is where you see like they have a lot of exclusive neighborhoods, a lot of like shopping plazas. Like you think you in Miami somewhere, where you'll have a shopping plaza,
Ah,
with like Burger King and all this stuff, and then
nearby
price
the embassy.
right there and all that. It's not too far away from that area, but it's in
Okay.
Santo Domingo Norte. So it looks to me a lot like that, where they're building up, where you have a lot of exclusive neighborhoods. I don't want to call it neighborhood because a neighborhood is more like a residencia, but
Mhm.
it's also like a urbanization where you have like a little area within Santo Domingo Norte where they're really building everything up. I mean, the price of things resemble what you would have to buy an apartment, a condo, or house, or villa, what they say here, in like Naco or somewhere in the National District that's exclusive. So
Oh wow.
they're
Okay.
building up in a small portion of Santo Domingo Norte. But historically, Santo Domingo Norte has always been like the poor or less developed stepchild in the Dominican in the Santo Domingo area.
Understood. So would you say, I want to stray away from using that word, but would you say it's getting gentrified in a sense, or
I wouldn't.
remodeled?
I would say modern because the area that's
Okay.
being developed is not developed. I mean, you'll
Gotcha.
have maybe a building here, a business there, a few residences here,
Okay.
but haven't been fully developed.
Okay. And it's not like kicking people. It's not kicking the
Nah,
previous. Okay.
not at that point. If it is, it's to a smaller scale where you're dealing with people who maybe had like farms in the past, like a finca, and they have
Okay.
that finca, and that finca's been like chopped up,
Understood.
in pieces, something like that. And
Gotcha.
that's what I've seen. Like the urbanization I live in, this used to be a finca. So
Oh really?
so basically maybe like 20, 30 years ago, they started developing this area slowly because part of the area is still looks like a finca, but you can tell like, okay, this is the place to be. This is the place to buy if you got it. Because Dominicans
All
that
right.
got it,
Okay. Word to the wise. Okay. Duly noted.
yeah. My bad. I don't want to miss my brother right here. He says, I would never drive here and I don't miss it. Hey, I remember you telling me that, man, and I felt the same way.
Same.
Sometimes when you live here, man, it gets to the point where you will be tempted. You'll be tempted at some level to have to drive to get to where you want to go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know. I said the same thing for a long time. Man, I ain't driving here, man. It's just too much risk. They drive
So,
crazy. But then I find it, man, to get around from point A to point B to point C, sometimes you can't rely on someone. You got a driver late,
Yeah.
or you got to pay from A to B to C to D, or you go to a different part of Dominican Republic, and you're trying to like get around there, but they don't have any transportation, and you got to like call someone who knows someone who can give you a ride. It's
or deal with
yeah,
Uber scams and what have you not that they're like that's annoying like oh
yeah,
Lord
yeah,
I
yeah,
know what
yeah.
you're saying.
And I just saw the recent video you did, man. You right on the spot, man. Right on the spot
Thank
when you
you,
were
bro.
talking about the Uber scams, man.
Thank
Because
you, man.
geez, I mean, how frustrating it is when you call an Uber and they get there and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna only take cash, but you drive Uber and the
Yeah,
option is to pay by card. To my
like, right?
cash,
Like, what do you mean I have no card?
yeah,
Come
I'm paying. I don't have cash. That's why I'm taking Uber. You know what I
on,
mean?
right? Like I already paid.
Yeah. And then that's why personally I use InDriver more than Uber
Ah,
because
okay,
InDriver, the drivers get a better percentage, a higher percentage of
got you.
the trip. So I think one guy told me they get like 10%. InDriver gets 10%, and they get the rest. But Uber is taking like 30-40% of their ride. And sometimes the Uber rate is super high, but sometimes it's super low. It's depending on the day.
Yep,
So
that is
I
true.
feel like sometimes I feel like, hey man, I'm cheap. Like these Uber drivers are getting cheated. But at the same time, it's more convenient because you don't have to use cash.
Exactly. And I don't have to deal with the scamming taxis too.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, so I was like, yeah, the whole renting a car thing is just the self-independence, like not having to rely on anyone. And I realized that, leaving the country in the United States, the only drawback I do have is that people don't carry that same sense of urgency to, get things done.
Mm-hmm.
Like that in the United States. I realized that, and I've grown to accept and understand that it'll never be like that. So, and I'm never going to really acquiesce to slowing down like how I work or how I go about getting things done. So in order to maintain that flow, I'm going to do whatever I have to do.
It's and you know what though, it's a double-edged sword
It is.
because that's one of the reasons why I really like being here in the Dominican Republic and in the Caribbean in general is because that laid back like attitude. I mean,
Exactly. And I did mention that.
Yeah.
That laid back attitude, that atmosphere. However, it's like when I have to do something, like I turn to a different person, especially like when I'm not meeting the deadline, complete 180 from the person that's speaking to you today, right now, and then especially when I see that people aren't as, motivated or as amped to get that thing done, like, hey, like I got to make it to this destination at 4:30. It's 4:15. Where are you at?
Yeah.
And Dominicans, they'll be like, yeah, I'm on my way. And they'll still be at their house or something. I'm just like, oh, man.
Yeah. Like we got an event. Say we got an event at 5:00. I know that to leave my house and get to that event, it takes an hour. At 4:00 or maybe even 3:50, I'm gonna make sure I'm ready to leave out the door.
Exactly.
Dominicans, they be like, still getting ready.
Está bien. No hay problema, está bien. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I experience that probably on a daily basis. But at the same time, you don't have to adapt, but I sort of adjust to where, okay, I know this is what it is. Just got to deal with it. I'm here.
That is true.
I like it. We got to deal with it. And I made so many videos on like dealing with like the banks and the different institutions in the country where it's just that people are just very inefficient with their time.
Yeah.
And
oh yeah.
When
you'll be
money,
it's trying to get like money from Western Union and whatnot.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Like I know what you're talking about. Yeah. It's just gotta adjust.
So we hit on a lot of things, and I'm pretty sure we're going to go around to visit some of the things we already visited and more. But I do want to talk about this. You talked about Dominican Republic, you talked about Colombia. Is there any countries you plan on visiting next outside of those?
So outside those two countries, I do want to add into the excerpt. I visited Costa Rica as well. I have a loving for that country. May not be as much as the Dominican Republic or Colombia, but I still have a lot of love for it. As far as new countries that I do want to explore next year, the plan is to revisit a lot of the same countries I've been to, but give people a different aspect because I like to complete puzzles. Like I want like when I visit a country, I want to know like a lot about it. It's not just about going there having fun, partying, fornicating, all this other stuff.
Yeah.
I really want to know the history, the ins and outs, the ebbs and flows of the whole country. So it's going to be a lot of revisiting Dominican Republic and Colombia, with the exception of visiting Thailand for about a month next year. I need to find some way, shape, or form to visit Thailand for a month next year, as well as seeing Vietnam, because that was actually the country I wanted to visit the most. But being that we were in the pandemonium, I actually had a tour for Southeast Asia booked and everything, but I had to eradicate the whole entire plan because of the pandemonium. So that's what brought me to being out in South America for 3 months last year. And that's what really just sold me on I have to leave. I can't spend another 2 more years in the States when I came back. But to answer your question, the new country I do want to see is Thailand. That's happening for sure. And Vietnam, God willing, if I could squeeze a week or two right after the Thailand trip, I want to make sure I get those two knocked out within the same time period.
Yeah, yeah. I've never been to Thailand, and I've never been to Vietnam, but definitely
really?
On my list. That further down the line, but they're on my list.
Mm-hmm.
That's most definitely. So, all right. So here we're gonna make a little transition from what we've been talking about to take a little turn, and so what's coming. All
yes,
right.
sir.
I want to know, what's your take on the idea that many people believe that Black men only travel outside the U.S. for one thing?
I could attack this question in many different angles. First, I'm going to hit you guys with unknown. What is it are they trying to say about said women from other countries? That's what I want to know first, because what people are not realizing is that there's a lot of xenophobia going on when people say things like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is it? Are you trying to say about the women there? Are they that much lesser than that of the women in the United States? First and foremost, is this coming from an elitist point of view? Do you guys really feel like America stands supreme, reigns supreme, as opposed to any other country in the face of the earth? I also feel like it reeks of ignorance, because most of the people who do have that type of reservation have never even been outside of the country.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it's a culmination of all the three. Also, jealousy and envy, because you never see any passport brothers, so to speak, cast stones on people who don't have their passports, who are like, hey, look at me, I'm living my life while you guys are out there working a 9 to 5. No one's that braggadocious when it comes to, their traveling. But all the stones being casted upon us are coming from people, who are just bitter and jealous. And it's coming unprovoked as well. So, oh man, I could keep going. I could keep going.
And that's why I asked the question, because you mentioned that in one of you touched on this on one of your videos, but also it's across social media, across YouTube.
This is becoming a trending topic now, and I feel like the people who are, let's say, heading this movement right now, I feel like there's like a little bit of like a self-consciousness, like a little bit of scariness going on with the fact that they feel like they could lose their said following, because the idea of traveling the world surpasses any theory or any philosophy that they're trying to preach to their audience. And people just limiting it to just only, fornicating with women and what have you not. It just goes to show you the ignorance and in this whole idea in, men traveling. It's pathetic, because hey, Black men make up of the smallest group in America that do travel. Like, when we break it down upon niche, even upon Black women, Black men are the least. group that travel. So why is it that we carry the bulk of the blame here? It makes absolutely no sense. Are there not any Caucasian men that travel? Are there not any Asian American men that travel? Like, I'm completely lost here. What about the black woman and the white woman in our country? Do they not travel as well? They travel more often than we do. I see those same people in those same red light district areas and whatnot than I do black people. But somehow, of course, we have to take the bulk of the blame. And it's coming from people that look just like us. This is the thing that is the most pathetic. And every time I see this type of behavior, I'm going to address it. And I'm going to address it very hard and stern because it's pathetic. And the fact that it's coming from men, it just goes to show how emasculated our society is today, because men don't do this upon other men. You don't see this happening with other men in any other part of society. This is not happening to us. You don't see other white men putting other white men down for traveling. It makes absolutely no sense. If anything, I should be putting you down for not seeing the world. Next question, man, because this gets me in my feelings when we talk about this, because I'm really passionate about this, man.
Yeah. And I ask this because, look, why do people attack black men that travel? It's look, man, we like to we are curious about the world too. We like to enjoy ourselves too. We want to see more about the world too. So I think that to focus on a particular group and demonize them because, look, some of us have good jobs. We have the finances to be able to get out and see the world. They come at us from many different angles, man. I just think it's unfair.
It is, and it just goes to show that indoctrination that's already upon our people. The fact that you're saying that we can't leave the country. Okay, so if I go to Dominican Republic and I walk into a girl that I really like, am I supposed to be like, I can't talk to you because, the people back home, they're not going to like it. It's completely ridiculous. But going back in that indoctrination, the fact that people feel that we cannot leave the country for whatever said reason, do they not know what brought us into America in the first place? And now you're saying that our own people, cannot leave the land. This is like white supremacy at its finest, being vocalized by our own people, and people don't even realize it when they say certain things like this. When you cast these tropes upon black men leaving the country for whatever said reason, you do not know why you were in America to even begin with. Don't try to cast dispersions on black men for wanting to find a home.
Exactly. Because Mina, I look at my passport. My passport is sort of my freedom papers.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
To leave all that madness behind me. So I'm fortunate to be born in the United States and to have that ability. But at the same time, I'm not going to be a fool and be blind and not recognize the different opportunities I have for myself.
Exactly.
My legacy. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So being in the United States, the U.S. has a lot good going for itself, but at the same time, it has its issues. But
exactly.
As us being black men, being raised in the United States, we understand the country. We understand how that white supremacy works. We understand it. It's in our face from the day we were born. It's in our face. We know what it is. But that doesn't mean that we have to accept that and just stay within the borders of the United States. It's a huge world out there. And I'm telling you, for some of you folks out there who never traveled, who never left the country, or who never left the country outside of going to a resort or a cruise, or maybe you were in the military, you just stayed on the military base or deployment and not really had the opportunity to be within the people and within the culture and being able to just be all up in that. It's a different experience. There's a lot out there. I just want to say that, and I think that you are right, man. It comes from a place of ignorance that a lot of people have about the world, as if the United States is something superior, or the people there are more superior than other people in the world.
Exactly. It reeks of just total ignorance. Because Are you trying to say that, black men, when they even leave to go out and get women, all that we're subjected to are the scum of society in said country? Because this is what they try to market to people here. This is what we're doing or whatnot. And that's not even the truth, not even the slightest bit. Am I saying or dismissing the fact that it's going on? No, but it's such a small microcosm that it's completely disingenuous to
Yes.
say that is what is going on.
Yeah,
It's
it is.
completely disingenuous. You don't hear nothing about that when black women travel or anything like that. Now, I'm not throwing anything at them, but you don't hear that.
Yeah.
Why is it only us? They travel more than we do,
True.
doing a whole bunch
Very
of activities,
Very true.
And you're not going to hear black women, put down other black women for going out there and traveling, expanding on their options. I mean, you live in Santo Domingo. There's black women, American women that actually live in the Dominican Republic, and like people just make it seem like it's a black man thing, and we're just going out there, on a global sescapade, and it's really just disingenuous to the actual truth of why black men are actually going out there to travel.
It is because there are black men out here who are traveling, who are travel enthusiasts, who work in the travel sector or who own businesses, who come out here, and you have people who bring their entire family out here. Significant other, wife, kids, and they go and join the best schools, live in the best neighborhoods in the country.
Access to the best medical care.
The money can go, and look, point blank for most folks, it's a cultural thing that attracts them here, the freedom and all that. But when it all comes down to, in most cases, it's finances.
Exactly.
The money goes so much further here, and a lot of people are struggling in the United States, and they pretty much are depressed, or don't have that hope for their future for their family and all that. But that same money they make there, they bring it over here to Colombia, Santo Domingo, Jamaica, some of these other countries. And that money goes so much.
It skyrockets. Yeah.
Like you live in poor or just to get by back in the States. You come over here, you live in middle class.
Like I completely agree. Making $15 an hour, working 40 hours a week cannot do you anything here, so to speak. That's minimum wage. You take that to a country like Dominican Republic, you could live very well for yourself. Like, it depends how people, manage their money, but you should be able to live very good just off of, a $1,600 paycheck every 2 weeks. If you can't manage that, $1,600 2 weeks, that's a problem with itself. But you can make that stretch. Like, oh my goodness, just working minimum wage, making minimum wage US dollars could take you so far in the Dominican Republic. It's just so unfair. And people, they will close their eyes and think that, oh my gosh, but you're not getting what you'll be getting in the States. People, people knew.
Yeah, they look at it. They don't look at it as the different markets. So if you earn $50,000 in the U.S., right? That same $50,000 in the U.S. a year over here is probably worth $150,000.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So you got to look at it that way. And your money, and also the cost of housing, the cost of services, so much cheaper here in some of the countries. People got to understand that they are not that high quality of life they're not experiencing in the U.S. With that same amount of money they make there, it can bring it somewhere else and have a high quality of life over here.
Exactly. Something just as equivalent to that they were, living in the States, but for a much lower premium. Exactly. And people don't understand that. People think, okay, maybe because they're going to pay a lower price, they'd get, like a lot lower expectations or whatnot, but that's not how it works at all. People are completely mistaken.
Now, let me ask you this, because I'm going to ask you it's sort of a two-part question. So what, in your experience and to your knowledge, what are the ideal jobs for folks who are interested in saying, look, I want to be look, profe, I want to be where you at, or BakPakVal, I want to be traveling more, or I want to move permanently to Medellin. How do I get that? What jobs are out there that I can get into to actually live that lifestyle?
Ooh, may not be the greatest person for that question. However, I would say anything regarding around the tech field, honestly, IT, tech, coding, starting your own entrepreneurship, whether it's an online business as far as buying and reselling. Yeah, anything revolving around arbitrage, you'll be straight with that as well. Creating your own YouTube, even though that process is a little bit different, it's more of a long shot, as far as like if you're gonna just expect to make money like right then and there, like I'm not at that point yet, so like I mean
you'll be there real soon, man. You'll be there real soon.
Thank you. I mean, well, like that's the goal, right? But I would say as far as like flexibility, mobility goes right now, IT, tech, cybersecurity, anything that revolves around, needing a computer to work. Yes.
Gotcha. And I will piggyback off that question to add things outside the IT. I'm not an IT dude, so I want to know what's not IT, what's not tech. I can tell you that a lot of
data entry
people are looking to hire positions that are remote. Focus on the various staffing agencies that are looking for folks. One that's really popular is American Express. American Express, they are paying folks between like $15 and like maybe $25 an hour. But it's more like a call center. But American Express is to my knowledge, seem like they're trying to go like predominantly remote. And they're hiring a lot of folks. So if you're interested in that, look at who's hiring for American Express, whether it's a staffing agency or American Express itself. You can make that money. It's probably going to be, on the call a full 8 hours. You're not going to probably have much downtime, but you can use that money to live in a place like Dominican Republic or Colombia and still live well.
Or a patient advocate specialist as well. That's a pretty easy job. Doesn't require you to be on the phone as well. I saw my cousins do that. That's what they do as well. They just qualify patients for medical equipment and whatnot. It seems pretty simple, but guys, look that up if you're interested in wanting to, live abroad, but still keep a steady source of income.
There you go. And the second part of the question I have, I'm gonna hold on that right now, but I do want to ask you this because this reminded me. You were in the Air Force.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about it. So you were in the Air Force, and you're not in the Air Force, and you're not in the military anymore. But how has that experience helped you to be where you at right now, to help get you to you moving abroad?
I can't. All right, because the answer you're expecting is not it, because I did not get to travel overseas while being in the Air Force, so that aspect was different. But just hearing people who had deployed and what have you not, giving me their perspective and everything like that, everything that they saw. They were sending me Snapchats and whatnot during deployments and whatnot. So it kind of I was like, wow.
Hey, look, Air Force, I'm going to be honest. You guys like royalty in the military field. I mean, you guys have the best.
We get treated the best. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I've had friends in the Army, Navy more so than anything. And wow. And looking at the Marines, forget about it. They get treated like kids. Like, I couldn't do it. I don't know how could you not join the Air Force? Like but it was just the experience that my friends, my closest people who were in service, who were deploying at the time, sharing their experience and showing it to me. It really changed my perspective on wanting to go travel. As a matter of fact, my first trip to Dominican Republic, it was with my boys from the Air Force. Yes. Gotcha. The thing was that I never got to even meet up with them when I landed in Dominican Republic. Yes. Like, that's the crazy part about it, because the moment I got there, it was my first time overseas. My phone wasn't working or anything like that. So I wasn't even able to contact them when I was out there. And I booked a hotel that was in Boca Chica. Yeah. I didn't know at the time. They weren't Santo Domingo. That was supposed to be the meetup spot. I'm thinking Boca Chica is just right there as well. Like I'm thinking Boca Chica, Santo Domingo, and whatnot. So I'll book my thing in Boca Chica, and now I'm just away from like civilization and whatnot. So I kind of had to like make the vacation, the best of what I could, and I didn't complain.
Gotcha. Good, man. Hey, man, I'm gonna ask you this. You ain't got to answer, but I'm gonna ask you this. You collect the VA, right?
The VA, no, I am eligible for the loan and whatnot, but I'm not collecting any disability or anything of that sort. I've used my my GI Bill, like both my Montgomery and Post 9/11 and whatnot. Yeah. I haven't used the loan to buy a house yet, but those are only benefits that I am eligible to take because I forgot to preface my comments by saying that I was a reserve, not active. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah. That's a little different. Real talk. I was reserve as well, but I was also active too. So,
okay, you took active orders and whatnot. I understand.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that does make a difference. All right, good, man. Well, thanks for breaking that down. So let me ask you this. We sort of touched on this already, but I want to just hit this question, and I really want to know your perspective, your opinion. All right. Awesome. So, in your opinion, what's wrong with the state of the Black man in the United States, and what do you think is the best move for, young Black men coming up and older Black men right now?
Okay. So I'm going to answer that question as like a two-part kind of thing. Right now, I feel like the state of the Black man in America is that we're being emasculated, and at this rate, it's becoming exponential. I feel like, there's a lot of things where I feel like, Black men in today's society as compared to like 10, 20 years ago, seeing men that, I grew up looking, admiring and whatnot, we've become a lot more feminine, and society's trying to remove the voice of the the last of the real Mohicans, the real Black men that are out there, trying to reinstill, like certain traditions in the Black community. I feel like those people are getting exiled and crossed out. I feel like there is a path, there's like a direction society's going, and I feel like they want to they want Black people to to go along with this with this ideology. And I feel like, hey, if you talk against it, you'll be chastised, you'll be gone from society. So I feel like Black men who speak up about their concerns will just get cascaded, and I feel like a lot of Black men are scared to speak up. So a lot of people are utilizing their options on moving abroad and whatnot, and this is why I came to that conclusion myself on why I wanted to leave, because I feel like there's certain ideologies that the country is going towards that I just don't align myself with, and I'm seeing, it's just like the emasculation, the feminization of the Black men. Black men are not speaking up. Black men are not being as men, as masculine as they once were. I feel like there's a lot of capitulation to, modern day society that doesn't, go with our grain, that it doesn't go with how we used to do things. And me, I'm just not for that type of change.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And what do you have out there for, what's your advice for, young Black men coming up and the older men out there right now? Okay,
so I suggest the force against us is so strong. I hate to be this one to say, but we can't beat it. It's a force that we just can't beat, no matter how much we galvanize. Utilize your options. Whether it is you want to stay in the United States or not, make your adjustments, but you have the option to leave as well. I'm not gonna say, hey, guys, get out of here. All I'm gonna say is that explore your options, because there's a place out there for you that will suit your needs and expectations. Because United States, it's removing itself from its identity, where we don't know where it's heading, and I don't want to know, and I don't really want to be there to see the finished product of it all. So I just for the dudes that are out there that are younger, stick to your beliefs, right? Like, do not let society try to change whatever decisions that you have about the way the world is supposed to be, and utilize your options while you're at it as well. That passport being, the biggest motivator to do so.
Yeah, I want to repeat a thing that you said that I think is very, very, very important.
Talk to me.
Explore your options. You said
Yes.
explore your options and find a place that's suitable for you. You know, whether that's someplace in the United States or out. But
Exactly.
explore your options. I think too often many of us do not explore our options. We really limit ourselves, and I feel like that's a waste because we have a place.
And I realized that a lot of people, like where I'm talking about, brothers and sisters, they can't even think like beyond that scope of horizon. Like that there's another place out there for them. Like there's another way of life out for them. They really can't, like their brain can't even process that thought. Like honestly, like that's how deep like it really gets. That's how deeply indoctrinated we are as a society. Like most of us really can't even think of doing it. Like I'll post myself on vacation on my Facebook and whatever have you not, and like people are just so like, oh my gosh, like you're living the time of your life. Oh my goodness, like how are you doing this? And I'm like, by booking a ticket, by booking my my Airbnb. It's not hard, but people are just like so blown, like, and people are just like, wow, like you gotta tell me how you did it, man, like, and all this other stuff. And I'm like, guys, it's not that hard. You guys just have to want to do it,
Yeah. But that's a question I have. Why do you think people are scared to travel abroad? Why do you think people are scared to just venture out and explore their options?
One is because like people really can't process the fact that it really can be done. People really think that the process is a lot harder than what it really needs to be. Now, I'm not gonna say, okay, your process from moving from wherever you're from to the Dominican Republic was easy or anything like that. But for you to just book a ticket and just to see what Dominican Republic was about, I'm pretty sure it wasn't really, that hard to do. A lot of people can't think beyond that, So like a lot of people think like, oh, the process of getting a passport. A lot of people are so lazy, like doing something as signing papers to get a passport is so treacherous of a thought for them. Like, and I personally feel like it's going to get a little bit tougher as the years progress. It's going to get more expensive, and it's going to get a lot tougher because of these world laws, these new sicknesses that just come out that impose these restrictions onto the world. It's going to get a lot tougher to obtain. So, like, the laziness just blows my mind on like why people just can't get a passport. And the other thing is the stigma, obviously, that brothers like us go through before going overseas. Like, hey, I'm not gonna go out there and talk to these women, these $40 women or whatever other trope that people have, when it comes to traveling and whatnot. Oh, I'm not gonna eat no dirty. Like, it's just ignorance at the end of the day too. They think that they're giving up a lot more by leaving the United States and traveling. Like, why am I gonna go travel to this third world country when I'm in the best country in the world? So it's a combination of those three.
Yes, a lot of people think like that. They think like this is the best country in the world. There's nothing better out here. Why would I travel outside the United States? And that is 100% false.
100% false.
100% false. 100% false. Hey, brother, I've had you on here for an hour, man, and we touched on a lot of stuff, man. A lot of good stuff, a lot of good information.
And I enjoyed the conversation as well.
Do you have anything else that we have not mentioned and we've not talked about that you want to?
Yeah. Personally, a question for you. Like, what brought you to Dominican Republic? Like, what was your story like? If you don't mind me asking.
Oh yeah, I don't mind, brother. So basically, I'm from Maryland, so I grew up in Maryland.
Awesome.
I've always had an interest in traveling. Ever since I was learning to read, I would read about animals in the world and different places and stuff in the world. So that always had that curiosity and that desire to travel. When I turned 18, I got my first experience to travel to Mexico, Cancun.
Okay.
As a school, not a school trip, but related to school, but
Okay.
outside of school. I did that. Then I went again the following year. And then ever since then, I would travel at least a couple of times a year, going different places throughout college until I went to the Peace Corps after college. So I went into the Peace Corps.
Awesome.
2 weeks after graduation, they sent me to Peru. I was working in Peru for 27 months. And then after that, my time was up. I came back to the States, and then I joined the military. And it's word. Yo, after I joined the military, I didn't travel at all. I didn't travel. Man. Because, I was independent. I was taking care of myself. Then I was married. And I had a child. You know what I'm saying? So
okay. I got you.
Doing all that, I ain't had no money. I really had no money to get by.
I hear you.
But you know what I'm saying? So then at some point when you start earning more and things change, I had the opportunity to and I'm separated and had the opportunity to travel. I traveled and was like, man, I miss this. And then when I came to Dominican Republic, it just felt like home, man. It felt like home. It was like, this is
from the first day
I want to be. So what?
Upon arrival, or?
Yeah. Upon arrival, my first trip here, I was in Santo Domingo, and I had organized a trip like a tour guide beforehand, and because I really look, I'm gonna be honest, I'm into the what do you call the spiritual spirituality and much of the Caribbean and the Americas and this connection to Africa.
Yeah.
So we're talking about you're Haitian, so you're talking about like the Haitian voodoo.
Yeah, I'm about to mention that. Like that gets really deep, man. Like
or the Lucami, the Candomble, and Lucami and Cuba, or the Palo Mayombe in Cuba, or you looking at Brazil, the Candomble. So I was always really interested in like how all that works and like the people and the culture, how society and the people do that. And honestly, here I feel like it's like a double-edged sword. It's private, but it's also out in the open.
Yeah, true.
It's I don't know. Everyone knows, but they don't really always talk about it.
Yeah, it's like more so hidden in plain sight, so to speak. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. So that really interests me, and I couldn't go to Cuba. Cuba was the first choice, but because I was still in the military, I really couldn't.
Yeah,
I didn't want to deal with all that, I came to DR, man, so I took a tour and all that, and I learned about it, and I just felt like at home being here. And I was like, I would like to consider this as a place I want to live permanently in the future. And when the pandemic came, all roads just led to here, and I'm here.
Awesome. How long have you been here now?
I've been here over 2 years, but full time it's only been a year.
Oh, okay, honestly. And do you feel like this is a place where you could spend the rest of your life living, or do you have plans to venture?
Yeah. I think you mentioned it earlier. Traveling. I'm a traveler, so I'm always going to continue traveling, and I'm probably going to live in other places, maybe a month or a couple of months at a time in the near future. However, my home base is going to be Santo Domingo or the Dominican Republic, whether it's Santo Domingo or whether it's some other place in the country.
That would be my choice too. It's either Santo Domingo or Medellin. I feel like my mind's already, made up on those two cities going back and forth and whatnot.
And I think that for me personally, the most important part is my daughter. She lives with a mom nearby in the Caribbean, in one of the Lesser Antilles. So I have a direct flight from here to there, so I can be there in an hour and a half.
Okay, that is awesome.
But at the same time, I got my other family in the U.S. I can be there, in 3 hours. So that's why Dominican Republic is such for me personally, an ideal spot to live, because I can go in those two different directions and be there quickly. Whether if I was someplace else, like in Peru or something, even though Peru is cool, but I wouldn't want to live there permanently. It would be more complicated, you know what I mean?
I hear you.
Getting around.
I hear you. Now, is there like, so why Latin America as opposed to like, that of, any other continent like Europe, Africa,
I
or
tell you
even
this.
so to speak, Southeast Asia?
I speak Spanish. I learned to speak Spanish, prior to, in my
Okay.
schooling, my education, prior to me leaving the country.
Okay. Wow.
That's one reason.
Awesome.
Other reason is I think because at some point in as a teenager, I developed a huge interest in the Caribbean. So I've always there were huge interest in the Caribbean, not just any particular country, but just the Caribbean in general. Whether it's
Similar.
the music, the various languages, the various cultures. So I had this really strong interest in it, and eventually all roads led to
Dominican Republic.
Dominican Republic. Not saying that I don't enjoy my time on other islands, but the Dominican Republic just became home because it's just more a place that resonated with me when I got here. And also, I think also too because it's the biggest country in the Caribbean as far as like economy and population. It just resonates more with me, I guess, in some way.
Understood.
You've been to some of these smaller islands, man, and it may be really dope to visit, but to live there is just like too small.
Too small.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
I've heard that with some countries like Barbados.
Yeah, exactly.
Barbados, Bahamas, stuff like that. I've heard.
Yeah,
even Jamaica.
It's too small. Yeah.
They're saying that Jamaica is equivalent to the size of Connecticut, and I'm nearby Connecticut. I could jog around Connecticut, Take me
I think Barbados is smaller than Connecticut, honestly.
Woo!
I think it's smaller than Connecticut. Well, I see what you mean. Some of those islands, they may be small like Connecticut, but they're like predominantly mountains. So
true. So that the majority of the space is inhabitable to even
exactly.
That is true. I forgot to mention that. That is very true.
Exactly, and I think what separates some of the larger Antilles like Cuba and like Jamaica, Hispaniola, and Puerto Rico is that they're larger and you can actually like get around. They actually have geography and things going on that I feel like you wouldn't feel like you're on an island if you were living there.
You're true. That is very true. That is very true. Until a storm hits, Exactly.
Hey, you know what? That's funny you say that. Yeah, there's always gonna be thunderstorms and stuff like that. But as far as hurricanes, out of all those countries, the country that's gonna get hit worse out of the large Antilles is Puerto Rico because it's like the first big island.
True. And Haiti hasn't had their fair share of luck as well for some odd reason.
For hurricanes, it wasn't not that bad, but earthquakes is different.
Yeah. Yes, that is very true. Oh man, yeah, you're right.
Earthquakes are different.
True. And speaking of like hurricanes, and whatnot, we're approaching the season as we speak. Scary.
Yeah. I mean, we already in it, and it was just before this live came about. I'm here in Santo Domingo. It was raining hard, and the power went out. Now
I was about to ask you about that too.
Power went out. So I was like, damn, man, I hope the power comes back on before this live starts. Because,
So like that happens a lot too. Like, because that's my one knock with Dominican Republic as far as the pros and cons are concerned for digital nomads or whatnot. For people who are have tight deadlines for work and what have you not. I'm not gonna say reconsider Dominican Republic, but it's really like you really have to be very meticulous in how you plan it because like where you live and whatnot, because some places, like you mentioned, still have their power out. Like I know, like my cousins that live in Las Americas right now, where it gets flooded ridiculously out. It's disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
It gets really disgusting out there.
Mm-hmm.
They're not gonna get their power till tomorrow afternoon, if they're lucky. So like people really got to be like cognizant, do their research in regards to like service and reception, like in the Dominican Republic, because like where you're located could really be, the death of you. Like,
I'm so glad you mentioned that. I want to reiterate this. I live in a upper middle class area in the Dominican Republic in South America. With that said, that makes a difference when the power goes out and things of that. Whose priority, right?
Yeah.
Infrastructure is better. That makes a difference. And the important thing about that is when you live in the United States and you just getting by, you only earning so much money, or you may be earning six figures. But certain places in the US where you're making six figures, that money goes away quickly.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't feel like it. You bring
Yes.
that over here, you can live in the best places in the country. And yeah, you may have some other parts of the country where they're dealing with power outages all the time, but you can live in a place where they see very few moments of power going out.
Exactly.
Does go out. They're the first ones that get worked on where it gets turned on. So
that is very true.
You can definitely live comfortably here. I don't know what that said, but it floods easily here. And thankfully, I live in an area where this area won't get flooded because I'm sort of like on a higher, not too high elevation, but a little high. Mm-hmm. But getting around, it can be trouble.
Yeah, very, very scary. Mm-hmm. Like I'm talking about cars lifting up on water because oh wow.
Yep. So with that said, it's not perfect. It's not perfect, but do your research and explore your options, figure out what's best for you.
Oh, absolutely. And I would say wherever anyone wants to go to, people have to understand that, you're going to have to take the good with the bad. There's going to be adjustments you're going to have to make, even if you're moving from state to state, but from country to country, it's going to be a lot more different. Of course, you might like the country that you're going to a lot better than where you're from or whatever, but that doesn't mean that things will always work the way it does back at home. And you have to understand that and just work with what you're dealt with, or work around what you're dealt with at your current situation. So people just think that with the back of your head. Like the ebbs and flows are not going to be the same wherever you're going to move to. So
yeah, that's true, man. And that's one of the big reasons why I came to the Dominican Republic, outside of being close to my daughter and leaving the U.S. to be in a more high quality of life situation. Mm-hmm. Look, the Dominican Republic has a lot to offer.
It is. It's grossly underrated. Yes.
It's growing. It's developing quickly. The government is making big steps and providing more for its people. It's very friendly as far as foreigners and you
reception. Yes.
Here. Mm-hmm. You got a lot of folks who are here who who don't have a sort of a residency or a visa, but they come here and they live here, and that's why, because this country makes it available for folks. Hey, you can just come here and live here, overstay your tourist visa, and just pay a fee when you leave. That's
exactly
of being here, because it's very foreign, friendly.
Yeah, they promote they promote tourism a lot. Yes, very tourist friendly, very receptive, like towards tourists. Like they love it. Like they really do. They take pride in wanting to show people how great their country is.
Exactly.
I give it to them.
Exactly. And what that's, go ahead. What's up?
No, I wanted to mention something, but I forgot. What were you going to say?
No. I was just going to say, and that's one of the reasons why I really want to bring you on, because of your experience in the Dominican Republic. And, I live here, so a lot of Dominicans watch my channel, but of course, a lot of folks that sort of travel, or that travel space, watch my channel. And people who are only interested in watching resorts and stuff also watch my channel. So
awesome.
Because I live here, I want to focus on here, and because you have a lot of experience here, and I like the way your take on a lot of things. I wanted to bring you on to talk about that, and I'm glad we touched on a lot dealing with Dominican Republic, Santo Domingo, Colombia, and the state of passport bros and all that stuff. And we can go deeper.
Yeah, we can go really deep. Like I owe you a live stream on my platform.
No problem, brother. You just let me know, man, and I'm up for it, man. Because
absolutely. Yeah. And I also want to say, a big thank you for like validating a lot of the stuff that I did have to speak about in regards to the Dominican Republic, because coming from someone that does live there, now it just brings like, more validation to, the truth as to like what I am and what I'm saying, what I'm showing, what have you not. So like it feels good to have that reinforcement from someone who actually lives there and sees it day in and day out, So like it just, like it's good reassurance.
Yeah, and that's one other reason why I really want to bring you on too, because a lot of stuff I would talk about you mentioned. So I was like, cool. I don't want to be the only voice talking about this stuff. I want to bring you on, and I wanted to bring on other folks too. But I think it means different when they come from folks who, for one, actually travel here a lot or spend a lot of time here, or folks who actually live here. So I'm gonna be honest, man. I live amongst Dominicans. I'm around Dominicans all the time.
I hear you. Yeah.
I don't speak on my daily basis unless I'm dealing with work. I don't speak English, right? So I'm not around like foreigners at all. And I really want to be able to get that voice of foreigners who actually live here or come here a lot out on my channel. So either they can share their experiences or different perspectives, or just revalidate what I be talking about. So
awesome. And now that you mentioned, living amongst, Dominicans and what have you not, let some people tell the story. They're probably tired of us living here and all this other stuff. Why are we out there? They don't want us here. Get out of their country, whatever. This is, the sentiments that will come from Dominicans, more so that live in America, people from the outside looking in and what have you not. But you being boots in the ground that actually live there, what is the reception towards people like you and I that, that are living there right now, not Dominican, so to speak, but, you're occupying their space and you're being one amongst them. Like, what's the reception like? How have you felt? Have you felt any indifference from anybody? Have you felt any microaggressions, like any type of racism or anything, so to speak? Like, what has it been like for you?
I'm gonna hit this from three different sides.
Gotcha.
So one is you're just like and everyone else. You're just like everyone else until you open your mouth, right? Just like everyone until you open your mouth. People like having foreigners around for the most part. They like it. Some people don't understand why foreigners want to move here. Like, why would you want to? The United States. Why would you want to But these are at the same time, these are folks who have never been to the U.S., so they don't understand. I talk to a Dominican who's here, but who has traveled or lived in the U.S. They'll have an idea of why you would want to be here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep, that is true.
That is the difference. Another one is you'll find that some people, it's a smaller, but you'll find that some people say you're here to take over. You know what I mean? Like foreigners. So nothing against me in particular, but foreigners in general. But that's a very, very small group. For the most part, people are really open, receptive, and they want more foreigners. Especially they know you're from the U.S., right?
Yeah.
More interested. I'm gonna be honest. Other countries, say if I was from some country in Africa or some country in Asia, or maybe even another Latin American country, I feel like people will be less interested in me and what I have to say. I'm gonna be honest, because they talk to me, it's like, they may not know I'm from the U.S., but as soon as I say that, they become more interested. You know what I mean? Like more interested in my experience here, more interested in the U.S., why I'm here and stuff like that. So that's a difference. I don't necessarily say that's racial, because we're in the Dominican Republic. We're talking about Black people here too.
Yeah, exactly.
It's more so a thing with foreigners, right? Of course, too, a lot of people will confuse me as being Haitian. So oftentimes, that for the most part, it's just like, you're Haitian until they realize, no, you're not Haitian.
Nah.
Where are you from? You know what I mean? You'll get that. But there's a very, very, very small, and I want to make sure I stress this a lot. Very, very, very small group of people here that treat Haitians bad. I'm gonna be honest. It's totally disrespectful. It's despise Haitians, and you will see. And I've experienced that at least once, where it really bothered me. But other times it's like, no, I'm not Haitian. I'm from the U.S. You know what I mean? Like, you know.
No, I hear you because I get that a lot too. But it more so comes with amongst my people, like they're able to. I don't know if they just come up to anybody who's black and speak Creole to them, but like I don't know if any Haitian has ever came up to you and just spoke Creole or French to you. Like,
Yeah.
assuming you're Haitian, but
That happens every once in a while.
because that happens to me all the time. I'm like, yo, how could you guys tell? Like, of course, I can tell the Haitian and the Dominican apart. Like, I feel like there's an aesthetic difference amongst the two, but like, I don't know how they could, like out me because it's not like Dominican will look at me and assume that I'm Haitian.
No,
but leave it to a Haitian. It's like, yeah, he's Haitian. Let me go. It's so weird.
The only reason why a Haitian or Dominican will come to you and assume you're Haitian is because they'll see the way you walk, they'll see the way you talk. He's not Dominican. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason why. And for me, they may see the way I walk or maybe dress, maybe with the way I walk and the way I speak. My mannerisms are different. They're not Dominicans. The mannerisms are very Dominican. They have a very particular way of like expressing themselves. The stuff like that. You know how they do.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
They have a special way. And yes, me being here, I pick up on that stuff. But as soon as I open my mouth, he's not Dominican. You know what I mean? It's obvious. But they often don't know where to like put that. What if he's No. That's how they do here. And I think it's very, 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 very important that people know that the education level here, what they learn in schools and what they actually know, like society educates its people, they don't have a huge understanding of the world and the people of the world. Mm-hmm. So they see someone, they got to fit in one of these categories. So it's not
American,
this,
European,
not this.
Right. Yeah.
Like, you must be Haitian. You gotta be Haitian, right?
Or Haitian, yeah. So again, like I guess there's a certain look, to it or something like that, where
exactly.
Yeah. That is because I've had some experience like that where the police, like there was a police stop and whatnot, and I was with a group of girls who are Dominican, like first generation Dominican, but like their families of Haitian descent. Yeah. And the police officer greeted us in French, like, and I'm like, oh, how did you automatically come to that assumption that we were Haitian, But it was weird. It was just like, damn.
Yeah, and you mentioned that you can tell the difference between Dominican and Haitian.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Me, I can't. I can pick up on things. You just can't. I can pick up on things and say, okay, if these dudes working on a construction site, everyone knows that pretty much all Haitians work on these construction sites. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can assume that someone's Haitian, in that. But if I'm in a grocery store, I can't tell if they're Haitians or not because unless they speak. Because to me, you can't look at someone and say the Dominican and Haitian because you can't say that all Haitians are dark skinned. You can't say that because it's not.
But
true.
But this is the thing, and like me as Haitian, like I will admit it amongst our people, quick to assume they go with their assumption, whatever their heart thinks or mind thinks. That is what you are. They're not ashamed of it at all. And I don't think Dominicans are too far different.
No, they're not.
You know what I mean? Because you are dark skinned. Yeah, in their eyes, you're Haitian. I'm gonna go approach them and speak Creole, just with no doubt in my mind. You know what I mean? Like, it's ridiculous, but I'm telling you, like Haitian people are just quick to assume, and it could get really toxic too. You know what I mean? Because like these assumptions go like crazy and overboard. Because like there used to be a time where hey, if you wore dreadlocks and you were Haitian, you were viewed as a vagabond, a bad boy, and whatnot. Yeah. And the Haitians will be very, very, very convinced that you were that if you had dreadlocks. Like you cannot like change their mind otherwise. So this is the love and hate that I have, with my people, but like that's really who they are. And thinking like that is like, yeah, you know what? I could play that game too. I'm a lot better at it, but the way you can kind of spot it, like being in the Dominican Republic, is seeing how they dress. That's the biggest key giveaway. They don't really dress the same. There's There are differences. You
Okay.
know what I mean? Yeah.
And that may be a partial of my ignorance of Haitian culture, right?
Uh,
So that is because most Haitians I've come across, I mean, you come across Haitians in the U.S., but most of the Haitians I've come across are in the Dominican Republic. So to me, I can't see the
when you
difference.
say you can't see the difference, that's that was the same thing with me when I was in Colombia trying to differentiate the Venezuelans and the Colombians because that's it's impossible. Some people could tell them like that. I'm just like, you know what? I'm not even gonna play this game. Like,
Yeah,
I'd rather you just tell me what you are or whatever. But yeah, no.
now I can tell you this: if there was a Venezuelan in the Dominican Republic, there are a lot here.
Yeah, there is.
I can say that person's not Dominican.
Right,
I know
right.
that, but I can't say that they're Venezuelan, Colombian,
Colombian, yeah.
Colombian. I can't tell the difference. I think I'm starting to be able to tell the difference in the way they speak.
Yes.
But at the same time, in different regions of Colombia, they speak differently.
They speak a lot more cogent, a lot more articulate than I feel than the rest of their Latin American counterparts. Like I found like me learning Spanish, understanding Spanish. I've learned the best in Colombia. That's why I picked it up a lot because of how articulate they speak it. I don't know like if your sentiments are similar to mine, but like Dominican Republic, I feel like whoo. Not that it's impossible, but it's a lot harder of a curve, for those who are still new to the language to try and pick up and understand, as opposed to.
I agree, but I do want to say go back to Colombia. Yeah, they may speak a certain way in Medellin, but they don't speak that same way in Bogota.
You're right.
Definitely don't speak that same way in Cartagena.
You're right, because even in Santa Marta, my experience, it was different too, as well as Barranquilla.
Or all the black folks live. I mean, on the Caribbean coast, yeah, but all the black folks live in the coast, Pacific coast. They speak differently out there, man.
True.
It's different, and they may use some of the same words and like Hedega, Hedega. I forgot what Hedega is. Words, unofficial words, right? They may speak a lot of the same words,
slang, yep.
But slang. So the way they say it is differently out there. I mean,
absolutely,
they have a totally different accent, and I think in DR you have that, but on a smaller scale. What they speak, you'll find. I'm gonna be honest. I was in a cab ride maybe about 2 months ago, and there was a guy that he was in the U.S., lived in the U.S. for a while, and he moved back to the Santo Domingo. And he, on his free days when he's not working, he drives Uber, and he was speaking to me, and I was like, so, but I didn't know all this before he explained it to me. I didn't know he was from, living in the U.S. and he was just talking to me, and I was like, dude, where you from? Because your accent doesn't sound Dominican. And he was like, I'm Dominican. I'm 100% Dominican, but I speak correctly.
Oh wow! So he speaks a lot formal. Yeah, no, because like typically colloquially, like Dominicans are extremely like informal, like very 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 far from speaking formal Spanish. Like they do not like to use S's. I realized not too long ago. Yeah. Like if they could avoid saying an S in a word, they will not say it. To the point where it throws me off because sometimes I'm thinking that they're talking like, he, she, it, or whatever the case is, but they're actually referring to me. Mm-hmm. Like it gets that, you know what I'm saying? Like, like for example, like, oh, do you want, they're like, oh, get it. Like what? Like they will skip the S. Like, it's like that much informal. And I was like, I'm just starting to now, pick up like on that. And that could throw a lot of people off, especially when texting with, like Latin folk, like the informalities, the way it would translate to Google Translate and whatnot, it would not make sense. And it just, man, it takes you so further away from language. But for those of y'all that need to know something right there, like Latinos are very informal, all right? And
very
a lot
formal
of times,
the way they speak. Very formal. Yeah.
So a lot of times, like when they speak, and they avoid the S's. They're usually talking about you, but you might think that they're talking about another person that you're trying to figure out what they're talking about. But they're talking about you. It's just that the language is so formally informal. It's like a norm. Yeah. And I know I used to be so mad at that, but like, hey, it's not any different from how we speak in the United States. So You know, let them have their slang.
It is. What up, Extra? What's going on, brother? Thanks for coming to the live, man. I really appreciate you coming on, man. Now you're not late, brother. We still on there. We still talking.
Yeah, we rocking out, man.
Hey, I do want to say this. So, I recently picked up on how the different accents here in DR. It took a while.
Different accents.
I've picked up on the way they treat the R. So you'll find in Santo Domingo they treat the R with an L sound, like and like I use they have an L sound, you know, like you use like fuerte, right? That's
okay.
Fuerte. You know, it doesn't
gotcha.
You R, you hear an L, right?
Oh, okay, yep.
And if you go up north, it's usually silent and cibao, right?
Interesting.
Fuerte. You know,
right.
they don't have that L sound. It's more silent. The R. You go down to the south where they call like the south where you have like Bani and San Juan, towards Haiti. They're really strong with the R, so they do it.
Yeah, they'll roll it. Yep.
Yeah, even when it's not necessary, they're really roll it really hard.
And that's how they speak it in New York City. Like you'll hear heavy, like that R.
Yeah.
Like they're purring like a cat, kind of. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So, hey, Extraordinary, thanks for the $5 super chat, brother. I really appreciate it, brother. I really appreciate it. But what I wanted to say is, I grew up, like honestly, since like maybe like 13 years old, really on like reggae. I was huge on reggae.
Me too.
On Spanish reggae. Early on, when reggaeton, before reggaeton, into like the early stages of bachata when Aventura came out with their first Generation X album. This was really all over that. So I learned how Caribbean Spanish is very different, and it's not, they don't speak it the same way they speak Spanish and everywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Caribbean Spanish is very a lot of African influence in the way they speak, and you can tell by the way they sound. I don't know if you ever heard the difference between how Puerto Ricans speak. Like real, I ain't talking about them Puerto Ricans from Puerto Rico speak. Cubans from Cuba speak.
Oh, let's say like Puerto Ricans.
It sounds very African the way they pronounce their words and stuff like that. So you learn that like regionally, like they tend to like cut off the essence, right? They tend to not pronounce like the last consonant in the word, which is which happens here. But you get used to the speaking, so the context when they're saying quiere, they're talking about you. But the context, you'll be able to understand because you're so used to hearing that.
Exactly, yeah. And it took me being in, Latin America for a while to it was like an oh crap moment. Like, oh, this is why this is like that. That's how it all came about to me. But it's funny how like you mentioned, your introduction to like the whole Spanish culture and whatnot, as far as like it relates to music and whatnot, because it was very similar with me. Like just growing up listening to Caribbean music, what have you not. One of my favorite DJs, he was actually Colombian and whatnot. So like every weekend and whatnot, he'll play Latin music. And I liked it. I never understood what the heck they were saying, but like, I was just, bobbing my head to it. And then like, when I was younger, seeing like, fine Latina woman on TV and whatnot, I was like, wow, like my eyes was all, big and whatnot, like, oh, they're beautiful and whatnot. So, come time, I just still kept, up with it, seeing how the whole Aventura thing blew up, and then even Romeo Santos even going solo and going catastrophically crazy.
That's super. Yeah.
Yeah. Like a whole bunch of emergencies like J Balvin, Maluma, all that, seeing all that transpire, and just growing up with it, it just, felt like there needs to be a continuum as far as, like wanting to like learn more about, Latin America, whatnot. It really did start off minuscule just by listening to the music in the radio when I was a kid. It's crazy. It's really crazy to mention it, like. And then even being a DJ, because that's what I used to do. I started picking up like Latin parties and whatnot, and I actually liked the music that I was spinning for them.
Yeah.
And that's another way I've started to learn Spanish, or
Yeah.
at least retain what I learned in Spanish, just by constantly replaying the music over and over again to the point where I'm reciting the lyrics like I would if it was in English.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a tidbit for, anyone who wants to learn Spanish. You're going to have to grow a liking for the music, though, which is not hard. I don't want to sound subjective. It's not hard. It's actually really fun to listen to. And it's a lot more fun. I feel like there's a lot more unlocked instruments when you hear Latin music in
It
Latin
is.
America
It is.
than
It is.
hearing it like here in the United States. Like I'm hearing a whole bunch of like things in the song that I wasn't hearing when I was home. Like I'm like, what? It just sounds so much better. Maybe it's because of atmosphere, but I don't know.
No, so I can tell you that anyone that wants to learn Spanish, I highly recommend. They rely on the music, reading the lyrics and everything. On top of that, all the movies put it in Spanish audio or Spanish subtitle, and really get a teacher that can help reinforce all that. I'm telling you, do all that, you will pick up Spanish. You will learn it.
Or no, you're gonna have to put it in a language that some of these guys know. If you find a pen pal, I'll decorate it like that. Find a pen pal, and just start speaking to her on a daily basis.
Yeah,
Start checking up on her. Commit certain things to memory as far as like what you typed out and translated. Like even if it's hi, how are you doing? Try to like remember those phrases and what have you now.
Yeah.
But just by speaking to someone like a native of the country day in and day out, you'll slowly start to develop, learning the language as well.
You will. And if you really, really, really want to do it, learn Caribbean Spanish.
Yeah, absolutely.
Start off with that. Hey, Sean, I got a question for you, brother.
Oh, BakPakVal, do you prefer the North Coast or the capital? The capital by far. Like the North Coast, the only reason why I like the North Coast is because of the people I've met there, the people I've encountered. I met like awesome expats that are out there, the flip-flops, and even the weekend warriors that come out there. They're really cool people. Even like the Dominicans out there, just because of the fact like they're so, just open arms and what have you not. And it's a lot safer than that of the capital. So those are things that I do like about the North Coast, how safe it is and the people that I've encountered. However, give me Santo Domingo all day, any day of the week. And I'm curious to know, what you prefer extra, whether it's the North Coast or the capital as well. But me, Team Santo Domingo all day, every day. I don't know if that's a bias, but
Yeah. And Extra knows for me too. He knows that I prefer Santo Domingo. I mean, I do live here, but he knows I prefer Santo Domingo over the North Coast.
Yeah.
We him and I chatted a bit on some of the lives that I've had about all that. I think he said he prefers the capital, but I'll let him answer that question. But
I can understand why people might prefer the North Coast. Like I understand, so it's a lot safer. It's a lot, easygoing and more relaxed. You're able to utilize your first language being English a lot more than that of the capital.
Yeah.
And I guess the beaches are, they look better, or they rank higher in comparison to that of Boca Chica. Even though there are some areas of Boca Chica that are like breathtaking. People won't believe me, but there are areas in that Boca Chica region where the beaches are extremely nice. And if you want to drive just, 30 minutes, an hour out further, Playa Guandolio is right there that you can enjoy. It's not, I don't feel like I'm missing much. I feel like if it's not Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, it just doesn't matter as much. That's just my raw, honest, like, the truth. If you were to really just, get the truth out of me, that's how I personally feel.
Yeah, I understand. And Santo Domingo is the big city, right?
Exactly.
So that's where everything revolves around Santo Domingo. That's the heart of the country. At the same time, if you want to go to a beach, Boca Chica is not like the best, but it's a decent beach area where it's still touristy. You can still enjoy yourself. If you want to go further out, there's Guayacanes, there's Mondolio. A little further out, you get to La Romana.
Romana, yup.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love La Romana.
Valladolid is a dope little area in La Romana.
You get to.
You can really enjoy yourself on Valladolid. It's like I guess a more relaxing version of Boca Chica. I'll say that.
Gotcha. Because that's one, I guess, knock with Boca Chica. It's overly crowded and whatnot. But
especially on Sunday.
Family, yeah. But that's like every beach in Dominican Republic, I feel, because so even in the North Coast as well, Sundays, that's family day. Like none of that, none of that funky stuff is going on. Like that's really a day for family. Like they're all out there.
Hey, Val. So Ed Sholin got he just said right here that he's planning on making a permanent move to DR next year. And he plans on being on the Capitol. What do you think about that?
I think because a lot of people will suggest, hey, if you're going to go to Dominican Republic the first time, go visit the North Coast. I guess that's the more responsible thing to say. If you want to go to Santo Domingo, though, however, I would suggest for the first time, especially if you don't know any Spanish, try and link up with somebody who lives there. Or someone, if you know someone who's about to go, try to link up with them or anything like that. Because, Santo Domingo, while I love it and whatnot, like they can prey on the weak or towards people who just, are new there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly.
And even though I love the place, like it does have there's a cause to, be very vigilant when you're out there, walking the streets and what have you not. And you may not be privy to that and something may just happen to you. I'm not scaring anybody away from wanting to explore Santo Domingo or anything like that because it's still well worth it. You have to. It's the capital. It's most popular. It's really what matters most in Dominican Republic. However, there's safety precautions that you have to take, and I feel like I wouldn't be responsible if I didn't let you know that extra. Puerto Plata, it's more tourist friendly. You're more likely able to have your phone out while you're walking across the street, and it's not really that big of a deal. Whereas Santo Domingo, you're going to have to be on certain P's and Q's depending on where you are, and during the nighttime, kind of have to forget about it. Like you're really going to have to be on your P's and Q's if you take that, risk to just try to wander out in the streets and walk and whatnot. So, there you have it. I hope that helps you out when making your decision on whether to come to the Dominican Republic.
Hey, Val, I'm glad you mentioned that. I don't want to put you on the spot.
I'll speak about it.
You know I'm going, right? Okay.
Yeah, I know exactly where you're going with that.
All right. So, hey, Val, if you don't mind, man, can you like briefly tell us about your experience that you had? When Dominicans told you what you should do, and you were like, "Nah, I'm gonna do my own thing," and then.
All right, so. In Dominican Republic, Santo Domingo, I'll try to make this, as brief as possible. Okay. And you can tell me if you agree or not. How many Dominicans have told you, like, hey, put your phone away, or you got to be careful. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm married. My wife, she checks me if I'm doing something that a tourist would do. She'll check me real quick. Like, don't do that.
Exactly, right? I get it all the time. Don't walk at night. Don't carry out your cell phone or anything like that. People, if they do not tell you that in Santo Domingo, that person doesn't care about you. But moving forward, so my cousins will always often tell me, to be cautious. Like sometimes I could, move a little too, reckless. Because I got to the point where I visited Santo Domingo so many times, I feel like I was comfortable with the place. This is like a second home to me. You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about? Cause nothing is going on. I love this place. This place loves me. One night, I was deciding whether I should just walk to the supermarket or take a Uber out there. I wanted to exercise, so I decided to walk. So it was like 8:30. So it's pitch black. I'm walking out. This was in Avenida España, just to give you a little gist. Avenida España in Santo Domingo Este. So we're by the coast and whatnot. Really
pretty safe area though.
Pretty safe area. Nighttime, because I was kind of by the Las Americas area. That's where I was at, walking towards. So now it's not really, the most safe, especially during that time of night. So I'm walking. I had to get across the street, but I couldn't because there's a highway there. So I had to go across like an overpass, a bridge, to get to one side to the other. As I walk up, I see two gentlemen that seem to be minding their own business, like in the middle of the passage. My stupid self ignored that red flag and just walked, just proceeded to walk because they looked like they were minding their own business. They were just, it was two of them. One was on one side and one was on the other, just, looking at the road and whatnot, all bored, minding their business. So I decided that, it was deemed safe for me to just walk through. So as soon as I, walked like almost like past them, they stopped me and they pulled out two big machetes, right? So now I'm just at the point, I'm like, yo, guys, please, like, whatever it is, just chill. I'm just telling these guys rapidly, chill, 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 chill. They weren't listening. They kept approaching me, so I turned around and I ran, right? And they were chasing me. But it was getting to the point where I was approaching the stairway. So I'm thinking, like, man, I'm going to die. So I just thought fast as we were approaching the stairwell, I just, like, stopped running. I juked one dude, right? So now there's one dude that, like, is right in front of me, in my way to get to the other side of the place. As he raises his knife, I just jabbed him. He fell. I just ran over him and just quickly proceeded to run down the bridge. And I ran like, 4 or 5 blocks until like a Haitian motor control stopped me and he was asking me what was going on because he saw me running from the stairwell all the way to like from when he stopped me. And I was just trying to explain to him what had happened and whatnot. And I just told him, like, could you just send me home? I just want to go home. And like that was the whole situation. I wouldn't want to say I was at fault. Like there was really no reason for me to be outside walking, wandering around at that time of night, not really understanding where I was at the time as well. And this not even only subject to a place like Las Americas or whatnot. There's been people more than 1 or 2 occasions. No, more than 2 occasions. Because I know one person personally, and a friend of a person actually told me that she, like her friend was robbed that same night that I was robbed. Because I was telling people like the story that happened to me the day of, and she was telling me, oh, that's crazy. One of my friends got robbed in the colonial zone. This is really notorious in the colonial zone as well at the nighttime. Yeah. Where I've known 2 people to like almost get robbed out there in that area. So like my rule of thumb is when you don't see anybody walking around the area, you see no type of commerce in the nighttime, you shouldn't be there. You shouldn't be there at all.
And colonial zone shuts down at nighttime. Like certain areas of it shuts down at nighttime.
Yeah, it's so like a ghost town.
You walk around there.
Like it's so dead. Like you will see tumbleweed just like blowing across through the thing because it's that much of a ghost town. And when you see that kind of sign, you have to evacuate the area as soon as you can. Don't even risk it for a second. You are in a place where you shouldn't be at. Well, that's it.
Yeah. I wanted to touch on that because look, a lot of these places, I'm gonna be honest, for the most part, in my opinion, the country is safe. It's safe. Yeah. When you are taking precautions, right? Mm-hmm. You are being smart. It's safe, and anyone can get robbed, but you got to mitigate risk.
Absolutely. And I talk about that a lot.
If Dominicans are now walking around outside at nighttime,
I shouldn't. Yeah. I shouldn't
be. Hey, don't be careful. Don't take your phone out, or don't bring your phone.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, that's what I don't. I know my I'm really good at walking directions, and it's not hard to pick up a walking directions in data center. It's not hard at all. So like there would really be no need. If you're gonna rob me, there's gonna be nothing for you to take. I promise you that. But in that particular instance I was dealt with, these guys didn't ask for any they didn't make any command. It was like they were trying to attack me first and then take something from me later. Which is probably why I didn't let my stuff get confiscated. I don't know. Maybe if they would have bargained something with me, we could have worked something out. Yeah. However, they resorted to violence so fast that I wasn't left to believe that they wanted anything else but my life gone at that moment in time.
Yeah. Wow, man, that would have scared the shit out of me.
It would have, and honestly, I was debating for the next 2 days whether or not is this even a place for me and whatnot. I was really going through a lot mentally after that whole situation that transpired. But I still frequent the Dominican Republic. I'm grateful enough to live and tell my experience. But now I know how to go about it. Like I did know how to go about it, but like I won't ever let my guard down. I won't ever allow myself to make that same foolhardy mistake twice. You know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
guys, just learn through my experience. Hear my story. And if you guys did and take heed to what I said, you guys would not or hardly ever even run across a situation because you live there. You know what I mean? You have to be outside, you know, day in and day out and whatnot. Nothing's happened to you. So, you know, there is both sides of the story. Like you may not, that you could live there, nothing's gonna happen to you, but it's all about how careful you are. Because even in the North Coast, where it may be a lot safer than that of the southern tip, you will still run into problems. So yeah. Hello, how are you? Hello, Colombia. Well, security for tour. You said little. I feel like that's an overstatement. To be completely honest with you, like especially when you compare it to that Dominican Republic, where you feel like they do care. Like they will go and catch these bad boys. Like Colombia is like. Sometimes they give tourists more of a problem, I feel, than those guys who drive in the motor conchos and rob them. Like, but you know, there's pros and cons to everywhere you go. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, honestly, stuff like that can happen to anyone.
Yeah, like you may not even be in the wrong. It's just that you know you were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. You just weren't necessarily wrong, though. You know.
Yeah, I can tell you. I'm gonna go back. Ex-Trolling said he'll be working remote when he comes here, and his concerns about the internet in the North Coast, and that's why he's leaning towards the capital and being immersed in the culture. Yeah, I can. Internet is going to be an issue here. It may not be as fast and as reliable. Internet goes out a lot here, and but it's still fast enough for you to get. I think for most remote work to get whatever you need to get done, it's fast enough, but it goes out sometimes. But
True.
Not often. But not. It's not like the U.S. And I think maybe Colombia will probably have a better internet system. I don't have a what do you call it, inverter in my house, in my apartment. So I have a battery pack that's like constantly getting charged. So whenever it goes out, my internet is already hooked up to the battery pack. So when it goes out, my internet is still on. So
okay.
It still work. But then the clock starts on the battery in my laptop. You know.
Understood.
So you just gotta figure out what works for you.
Location circumvents anything though. I feel like a place more so like okay, Piantini, so to speak, you're not gonna really run into that problem as common. And depending on where you're at, the internet is actually very high speed. I remember one of my Airbnbs, the internet was lightning fast.
Mm-hmm.
Like yeah, so it really depends on like the neighborhood, how modern day it is. You know, it'll help a lot. Places though, like if you like I said, because I was in Los Casicagos, right, which is a very upscale place in Santo Domingo as well, and my power was going out like all the time, and this was during Toca de Queda, so like I'm stuck in the house at like 5-7 p.m. with absolutely no internet, no companion, no nothing. So like I was losing my mind. So like it's all location, but through my experience, Piantini has given me virtually no problem at all as far as receiving optimal service. Optimal, optimal, not just something that's gonna get you by, but service that's optimal.
I can tell you this though, with internet plans, it relies on credit. Everything runs on credit here. So they have like service credit, and then they have bank credit, right? So bank credit is dealing with like credit cards and loans and stuff like that. Then they have service credit, which deals with your electricity, your phone, your internet, stuff like that. You got to have good service credit to get the best plan. So starting off, So my first.
But you being a gringo, you don't get any special privileges. Like, hey, you're a gringo, you could pay for the, or
here's my foreigner special privilege. Oh yeah, for internet you can start off with 5 megabytes per second speed, but The lowest level started at 10.
Oh my gosh.
This is with Claudio, so I couldn't get it in my name, but I was able to get a phone in my name. I couldn't get the internet in my name. But now my service credit is good. I can get, if I can't get the best plan, I can get like next to the best plan.
Gotcha.
So you gotta build yourself up. So right now I don't have the best plan, but I have like somewhere in the middle.
In the middle.
But the best plan that they had was 300 megabytes per second. They have it. So eventually I'm gonna go there, but I'm not there yet.
That's wow. I did not know that. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
But I mean that's just what it was for Claudio, and you can build your credit, and you can still live there part time and build your credit. You know what I mean? Whether it's
really?
credit, or you can get a phone, just get a Dominican phone and pay $15 a month for your bill, and you can build credit by that.
But my thing is that, like, how does a foreigner like obtain credit in a foreign country where there's really nothing that kind of archives that foreigner, unless they have like identification or passport? Okay, it's not the passport.
Your passport does work, and you do build credit with your passport.
Interesting.
However, you're limited to the products you can actually take advantage of.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Once you become a resident, which is you're almost Dominican at that point, then you can take advantage of all that stuff. Everything is good. But when your passport, things are limited, but you can still build credit off your passport.
Awesome. All right. That is very interesting to know because, wow, thank you for that.
Yeah, but you can start that just by being here part-time. So if you're going to be moving here on your next trip here, at least you can go ahead and get that phone, the unlocked phone from the U.S., bring it over here, get it set up with Claudio or Altice. You'll be paying like $10, $15 a month. Cool. You can pay that a month to build your service credit. So when it's time for you to move here full time,
everything's already like it's a seamless transaction. I get it. That is very smart.
As in with your passport, you can get some banks. You can get a credit card. So get that credit card, and you'll probably have to have like I know a Banco Santa Cruz. You'll have to open up a certificate deposit of 10,000 pesos. 10,000 pesos.
$200, right?
There. Meanwhile, that's your insurance, your guarantor for your credit card, just to build that credit, right? And once you build that credit, you'll have a lot of opportunities open up for you to be able to settle in. Because you gotta understand, you can't just be a foreigner with a pocket full of money. You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna go. It's going to vanish. It will vanish over time and whatnot. If people are not conscious of prices and just paying whatever it is because they feel like it's just cheaper or whatever the case is, yeah. A lot of people will come to Dominican Republic and not really budget their money like that. They just think, oh, because it's cheaper than it is in the States, it's whatever. So all principles fly out the window. I'm glad you mentioned that. Like, yeah, people still like use the same spending habits that they had in the United States, and they bring that along with them in the Dominican Republic. And in some cases, you'll find your money going a lot quicker than that in the United States. Like, honestly,
you will, because things are cheaper, and you have the mindset that it's no thing, it's cheap here.
Yeah,
spending more money. And that's why it'd be good for you. I don't know. It'd be good for you to budget, and if you know you're going to be living here full time, go ahead and start that transition. Get that health insurance. Health insurance doesn't take full effect until 6 months after you've been paying, right? So go ahead and get it. You know you're going to be here full time. Go ahead and get that started. My man now, X Roland says, any ideas on how long you gotta have the bank account to get a secure credit card? Check it out. See me supposed to. My wife just brought me some wine.
Awesome.
So get that royalty treatment. Ask me more.
But let the haters tell it. You're out there to control all this other stuff, all this other like what? Like you can't get anything nice done for you. Like what's going on here?
Look. My relationship with my wife is dope. She's not like no servant and nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
no, it's just like those insinuations that come from, people seeing a brother happy in a relationship, whether he's abroad or what have you not. Is like those are the tropes that come along with with that, like, because there's one YouTuber that gets a lot to like Zoom to Thailand. I'm not too sure if you're aware of that channel. Yeah,
Richie something.
Yeah, like
Richie Mack.
it's the remarks I've heard that were made towards him is so disgusting and uncalled for, you know, especially when it's coming from people that made no mention about like where he came from or putting down his people or whatnot, but to see how quickly people are to, you know, cast that stone, to make that assumption that, oh, you know, he's out there doing this, that, and the third, because that's just it blows my mind.
Yo, I enjoy his content. But more so than his content, I enjoy the way he makes his videos.
Yeah, the curation of it all.
With his graphics and all that stuff, I'm like,
it's very creative the way he creates his videos. Yeah, it's like watching TV. You know?
It is like watching, but you know, but to give a little bit about him, he's been working in film and Hollywood for like many years. So,
and that shows in his work. It does.
Exactly. And I also want to mention too, man. You do really good with your graphics and the videos and stuff too, man. I'm looking at you, and I'm like, damn, I'm lazy with my shit.
Like I'm still using my phone right now. Like honestly, like, but I try to do the best I can with what I have, but it's still off the phone, man. Like, I still kind of cringe, like looking at, you know, the work I release, because it's like, yeah, like I don't know, maybe it's because it's me watching me. I don't know, but it's like. I still feel like I have a ways to go, but you know, I'm still humbled by, you know, the kind words though.
Yeah, you do good though, for real. You do good though. Hey, look, X Trolling says, any ideas on how long you got to have the bank account to get a secured credit card? I don't know, because in my case, I already had the bank account until a little later down the line. I decided to get the secured credit card. If I had to throw a time frame on it, I'd say a few months. But it's definitely doable. Definitely no more than 6 months. I can say that, because I didn't have my bank account. I had my bank account for about 6 months or 7 months when I actually got my secured credit card with them. However, I had another bank here. I got a secured credit card, but I used a guarantor. So I had a friend of mine who was my guarantor, and that's why that's how I got that credit card with the other bank.
Gotcha.
What other thing I want to talk about? You mentioned something. We were just talking about something. What were you talking about?
Now you have me lost. Oh man, it was before before the extra comment, right?
Yeah, before that. Yeah. All right, it'll come back. But in the Dominican Republic, it's really important that you keep in mind that this is a different system. It's not like the U.S. Yeah, they got like a credit score system and all that stuff. You have to use TransUnion here. They use TransUnion here, but it's specific to the Dominican system. Right?
Okay.
There's even a app called Pro Usario. Yo, I'm gonna put this down. My bad for going a little off top. I think this is really cool.
Yeah, it's gems, man.
Pro Usario. So this is an application.
As a matter of fact, just allow me to excuse myself for 5 seconds.
Yeah, go ahead, brother. All right. So this is an application that extra you can go on and use your passport number to actually track your credit, your Dominican credit. It tracks us. Your credit, and you'll be able to see like your score. So it'll show like A or B, you know, and it's a good application to use, so that if you ever find yourself in a position where you want to know what your credit score is, or know what your credit is, not necessarily score but credit, you can look it up here, because credit comes in whenever they do a background check here. If you're just renting an apartment, or if you want to buy something, or get something financed, or get a new I don't know, phone plan or internet planning or electricity for your place, put in your name, they're going to look at your credit. So it's good to know ahead of time what's on your credit. So that's an application you can use and register for to get all that. But yeah,
we were talking about video editing, or how certain people.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. And only recently. I'm not gonna lie. Like before, I didn't give nothing about the videos and editing. I just want to get the videos out there because I feel like even if I'm doing guerrilla film, me putting information out there and showing the video is enough to get people to like look at and be interested and like take advantage of the stuff. So me, like just to put this out there, I started my YouTube channel initially just to
I wanted to ask too.
Yeah, just to basically like have something out there for my transition from when I decided I was going to move full time to the DR and that whole transition until I got here. That was the only reason why I created my channel. Then after being here and taking trips and stuff, like I can like put out some resort videos on resorts and hotels because I see this as being interesting for me. I like to if I'm going somewhere, I like to know what it looks like before I get there. I can put this information out to other people because I live here or I come here often. It's too easy for me to like share this for other folks. But then the views I was getting, and then like my subscriber count was going up. I was like,
I'm on something.
So then I was doing that. And then every now and then, if I like learn something about the Dominican this credit or getting an apartment and this, I'll put a video out for that. And I noticed that anytime I talked about money here, I will get a lot more views. So everything on hotels and resorts, a lot of views. And then anything on about money here in Dominican Republic, got a lot of views. Honestly, everything else, I ain't getting no views, man. I'm not gonna lie, man.
I hear you.
But
that
specifically, I started focusing more on that. And then the immigration process and me getting my residency and all that. I would put out more videos on that, and those videos would get more views. So then I would not necessarily focus on that, but I would include that as part of my whole channel and what I'm doing with the channel. But as far as like I don't know nothing about editing videos and nothing like that. But little by little, I would learn a thing or two. If you watch a video on YouTube, you can learn something, right?
No, of course.
You really can. You see what other YouTubers are doing, just do what they do, right? Yeah, but watching your videos, man, even though you didn't put out a lot of content, the content you put out, I felt, me personally, was rich in information, and you put your video together that really grabbed the attention of the audience. So,
thank you, man. Like honestly, thank you. Like, thank you. And honestly, I hope this is not the last time we get on a panel and we discuss things that have something to do with anything or everything travel related, as I like to say on my intro to my videos or what have you. I do want to thank you a lot. I can't even thank you enough for having me on your panel and discussing something that I have all but interest in. So like, yeah, thank you again, man. Thank you again. Like I've enjoyed myself in this conversation, man.
And thank you for accepting my invitation. Like I said, I saw your video on Santo Domingo. I thought it was dope. I checked out your other video. After I saw that video, I think maybe that same day, I was like, no, let me check out a couple more videos. I checked them out. I was like, you know what? I wanna have him on my channel. That's
thank you, man. Because I'm thinking I'm a fly in the wall in these, YouTube streets and whatnot. Like, how do you find me? Like, I was like, oh my God,
I do want to tell you this. Even though I've never asked, you're the first person I actually asked. Because usually I would just talk on my channel, and I always want to have someone on my channel, but I wouldn't want to ask just anyone. When I saw you, I was like, yeah, I like the way brother carry himself. I want to have him on my channel, and that's why I reached out to you. There's other folks out there that I could reach out to, but sometimes, when you're like YouTuber.
Yeah, some people might feel, this ego thing, like, I have 50,000 subscribers. What am I going to do? The whole ego.
Exactly. Now, difference between you and I got over 1,600 subscribers, but a small amount of those 1,600 actually watch my videos, right?
The same thing. Hey, like, do you really want me to say what's going on my end here?
No, dude. Like you get more views on average. You get more views on your videos, and so you have a more dedicated audience. You have a more dedicated audience for your channel than my channel because I do so many videos on like hotels and resorts and stuff like that, I'm only getting the views by someone who's actually looking up that particular resort or that particular hotel or that particular area. So they're not repeat. I don't
So
get
like
repeat.
you're super niche, like as far as.
So that's the difference. So that's why I was able to have so many subscribers so quickly, but it took me a longer amount of time to get to that 4,000 hours of watch hours to get monetized. That took a lot longer for me. You, based on what I see with your views, you're gonna get there faster. So
I would love to. I would love to, and like, oh man, but you know, right now I'm just thinking, debating, like, you know, should I go a route where, because I know like it may have crossed your mind too, like doing things like putting a female just up on the thumbnail, like nothing too revealing or anything like that, but just because like I know what these you mofos want to see. Like I hate you guys so much for this sometimes, because like I don't want to have to do that in order to get my point across.
Yeah.
But like I'm starting to think, like, should I just be a little bit more flexible on doing things that, you know, may not really like coincide with what I'll typically do. Like, all right, if I'm going to put a female, just, you know, like have a companion with me, or even as a thumbnail, like how could I do that in the most tasteful fashion possible? Because like, you know, like, there's a raunchiness that I'm trying to avoid within this travel space. Like I do respect like the platform that I have, and I wouldn't want to change it for anything, but you know what I mean? Like there's just certain things that I know that could just tick the channel up like tenfold if I do it, but it's like
because I agree 100%, and that's why look, I live in Dominican Republic. You would think a lot of folks that live here who are foreigners, a lot of folks, they do a lot of videos and they'll put the girl in a thumbnail and all that, you know, the bikini, whatever. I can't do that because number one, I don't want my brand to be about that. Everyone knows there are women everywhere, so you can always find women.
I'm just all the precipice that like, you know, like I agree.
I don't need to promote that, but I want to have my channel focus on, this is a place where you can get information. This is a place where I can share, and I like to do more discussions like this, where, you know, people can get on and talk about different topics, travel related or whatsoever. And yeah, like I had a live I did maybe a month or so ago. There was a female on there, and we talked about various things about life. You know what I'm saying? So I like to be able to do that, and I can't have that, you know, a girl on the thumbnail with, you know, half naked and clear in mind, do that at the same time.
Exactly.
Across and create that environment I'm trying to create for my channel.
I thank you for someone who could, you know, relate, you know?
Yeah. Most definitely. Hey, man, I felt the same way. Like, man, the dude put this showing half naked women or the thumbnail, and they're getting all these views.
And there's like nothing, no information is really coming out of that. And that's not even to hate or anything like that, but it's like it's just, you know, it's such an easy thing to like do, but you know, just the content and everything that goes behind it all. And I feel like it'll deviate from my overall message that I'm trying to, you know, tell my audience. And it will allow like naysayers to control the narrative more so, because and it's not like, oh, like I'm scared of what people are going to say or anything like that, but it's going to be harder to get my point across when a lot of people are going to have a lot of fuel and ammo that they could use against me to try and twist and manipulate the narrative of what I'm trying to like actually speak across to, you know, like to my people, my platform and whatnot. And it's a battle and an engagement warfare that I'd rather not even deal with, because I'm already like dealing with BS as is, like being you know, starting from a ground up YouTube channel. Like there's people that troll me and whatnot. You know, so I could only imagine like if I were to do that, or when I get bigger, the nonsense that I'm gonna have to deal with down the line. So like I'm just trying to do anything I can to mitigate that type of stuff from happening, and just to live with a good conscience, because you know my family, they watch this channel.
Exactly. You know, I don't want my daughter. She doesn't watch my channel, but if she were to watch it, I don't want her to like see that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I don't want her to think about like that's what where my mind is. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause it's not. But I do want to say this though. For your channel, what helped me get over that hump is when I started doing videos, putting out videos almost every day. Like I ain't gonna lie, man, my channel blew up, and I got more watch hours because I already have this. I got the subscriber account really early, but the watch hours.
The watch hours, yeah, that's the Achilles heel.
Yeah. So once that helped me get the watch hours. So what I recommend you just looking at your channel, looking at the views that you get already for the videos you do put out. If you put out more content more often, you will see it increase because by looking at your channel, you have a big enough dedicated audience that you will get that very quickly if you were to put out more content.
You know what? I appreciate it. I will. It's just that, I just have to kind of wait till, my Cartagena trip around October, like at the end of October, to give, people the boots and ground footage that I know they will prefer and whatnot. So most of what I will be doing from here on out would be something similar to this, where I'll be behind the desk, conveying, some message to my audience or whatnot. But like, I'm more of I got to be there in the field, showing you guys around, showing you guys like how I interact with the people, showing you guys what you can do in such place, how you can live in such place and what have you not. That's more of a strong suit like that I have as opposed to, sitting behind the desk and just telling people,
I got you, man. I got you. And I'm not going to lie. Shout out to Q. I don't know if Q's still walking from leaving the United States of America. I used to see him on his balcony. So when I moved here and I had a balcony, I was like, I'm going to do it from my balcony. So most of my videos are on the balcony. So I always think about him in that sense. But I did want to mention, man. I just left me. Discussions like this are really good too. I found just watching other people's channels, they tend to get more views on this, and more watch hours on this. One of the guys that I want to ask you a quick question, but before that, let me say this. One of the guys I'm subscribed to that I watch every once in a while is Big Boss. Big Boss?
I believe I've heard of him.
Yeah.
His name is very familiar.
Big Boss Real Talk. Big Boss Real Talk.
Okay, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So I remember one thing he mentioned in one of his videos was like, and also Rich from
Zoom Thailand? Or no, I know you're talking about
Roll the Tape.
Yeah.
You mentioned the watch hours, do lives. And those guys put out more lives than like
original content, right? Yeah.
Like, right.
True.
So I get that, the whole live thing, but for me, I'm boots on the ground, so I live here. Or whenever I travel, I like to put out that too. So I don't want my channel to be like served.
So we're relying on
all around lives do help you get your watch hours. I already got mine, so I'm monetized now. Even though I ain't making no money, man. I'm gonna be honest. When you get monetized, don't expect that you're gonna be making like.
Money. Like people told me that humble pie stories real fast.
Yeah. And even then, your first month, you probably won't even reach the $100 threshold for YouTube to even cut a check.
Ooh.
So just keep don't give your hopes up.
Too high. Nah, I hear you.
Get monetized, use it as like maybe a motivation to like, okay, now I gotta revamp my channel. Now I gotta take the next step. And look, man, I'm busy. I like to do more. I'm busy. I don't want to make any excuses though, but definitely I would like to do more, and at some point I will do more. When that time comes with the channel.
Awesome.
But I want to ask you this. Damn, I just left what I wanted to say. Damn, I just forgot, man.
That's all good, man. It's all good.
Yeah, I was just talking about something. Salute.
Gil.
Gil, Extraordinary Man, those guys, Whenever I do a live, man, they pop up, man. I really appreciate the
Oh yeah,
support.
Gail's a great supporter, man.
It,
Like
it, it is, man. He
great
is. He is.
supporter.
Also a vet, you know what I mean? So shout out to Gil.
Yeah, I gotta link up, Gail. You gotta let me know next time you're out in DR. All right.
Yeah. But I wanted to ask you something along the lines of, damn, man, my mind just went blank. My bad, bro. My mind
That's all good.
But I don't know, man. I just went blank. But anything else, man, that we're forgetting on this live? That so no, we talked about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and I want to say I think we touched up on the bulletin points that you know what I'm saying, that you sent me and that we spoke about as well. I believe we covered all those the basic questions and then the more thought-provoking ones as well.
Yeah. I will be in the Sioux on Labor Day, brother. Hey, I'm pretty sure the Sioux's gonna be popping on Labor Day.
Yeah, right. Labor Day, Halloween weekend. It's gonna definitely be a zoo, man. Stay safe, Gil. All right, and make it first stop flip flop.
Now, yeah. There you go. Thank you. This reminded me. I want to ask you, who did you meet? Like other YouTubers when you came to?
Oh man, I feel like I met almost all of them. I felt like I met almost all of them. The first one was obviously Flip Flop. Mm-hmm. That was the guy that I was watching for, quite a while. Kind of the reason why I even went to even visit Sasua in the first place, because I didn't know what a Sasua was until my third trip in Dominican Republic. Mm-hmm. And once I started becoming privy to it, obviously he was like, the leader of the Sasua algorithm, at least at the time. You know what I mean? So he was just the point of contact to anything you need to know in regards to that. And so that was one guy I met. And then through him, I met Mayor So. I don't know if you're aware of him. And like, it's so funny because like, he's the guy that I cultivated the closest relationship with out of everyone I met. And, the way like people would see him online, he's 180 of a person. It's it's so funny. But I have endless love for the guy. Yeah. And then through him, I met Bo Rakes. Like he introduced me to Bo. And who else have I seen? I've seen Cerise, Miss Cerise Fairfax. Third Mundo, who did YouTube in the San Domingo area. Obviously, I linked up with him as well. Who else? People from Colombia like Passport Dog, Travel Shortcuts. Oh, Big J's Escape to Dominican Republic.
I would have really liked to meet him, man. I'd have really liked to.
He's great. That's like, like I call him Unc. Like he's like a, like an uncle figure to me. Like that's how much admiration I really do have for the guy. Like we speak almost every day. Like we're that cool. Like close. Like what I'm saying. That's my guy.
I'd really like, hey man, hey hey man, I like to do a video with him, man.
Yeah, man. Like I'll even let him know. Like he's definitely there.
I like that.
Absolutely. I'll send that good word out for you. Like that's the ace. And Passport Dog. There's a lot of people that I met. Aaron from Black Man Travels. Yeah. Brown Liquor Baron. Like, oh man, the list goes.
Where'd you be BLB and Aaron?
Aaron. Oh, Medellin. Like last year in August. Like. I felt like everybody was in Medellin at, one moment. Like, and it was funny because I met both of them the same day, Okay. Like we were just all happened to be congregated in the same area, Parqueadas, obviously. And within that, like you'll meet a lot of, people out there.
Hey man, Aaron's doing big things with his channel, man. Big things with his network, man. I admire what he does, man. And man.
Absolutely, because he's creating some sort of a conglomerate, with what he's doing. Like, so it's like every Black YouTuber has some sort of tie with Black Man Travel, and just that name is just so smart the way it goes off because like it's not a group, it's like a movement, it's something greater. So like his name is just based off of a movement, and like man, it's cheating.
I mean, yeah, and I'll be honest. I like how Flip Flop did his got some other guys and did his own movement with Paradise Life.
Yeah, I'm part of that movement as well. I was just seeing how everything, rolls and like starting his own like pioneering your own movement and doing things. Like, yeah, it's something to
Yeah.
admire, man. Like, no hate in my blood. Like, I love seeing stuff like this. This stuff like inspires me to want to go out there and achieve as well. And
Yeah.
not even the same exact goal, but just in regards to my goal. Like
Yeah.
just seeing other brothers out there doing it. People
Yeah.
who came from the same situation I came from, maybe even a lot lesser, just going out there and just achieving whatever it is that they want to achieve serves nothing less than an inspiration to me, man. I really love seeing this stuff. Like
Yeah.
going out there overseas and actually talking to brothers that, because you know it, like when you come across other expats and whatnot, people that just come to visit the country, those are not bums or so to speak. Like these are people who are like very credentialed or just have something going for themselves in general. You know what I mean? Like for the most part, I've met
Yeah.
people who are just outstanding, like individuals, and it's like wow.
Yeah.
And we all think synonymously at that, and it's like, man, like yo, you guys are true to my brothers. Like sometimes I feel like those people are more of my friends than my own actual friends because we all see the world in a certain way, which is similar. Like you know what I mean? Like
yeah. I learned that. I learned that early when I was in Peru, and when I met like some folks out there, some folks who were traveling out there, even like all the other Peace Corps volunteers, you would learn from them and their experiences. And I'm like, damn, man, these are people that are accomplished, that are bright, that are really like doing things that I could not imagine.
yeah,
States and not here. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
And that's the same as being here in DR. I've seen a lot of that. I can tell you this though, when I went to Flip Flops, his bar, and I met him. I didn't get a chance to really speak to him. I just complimented him on what he's doing and his place, stuff like that. Because the place is dope to have like a spot that brings people together.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like
And he does
I've
a
had
really
best.
good job.
Yeah. It's like, and that's the one thing I hate about going to Flip Flops, man, because I would go there, I'll plan to be there for like 10, 20, 30 minutes, maybe an hour tops. And it ends up being 5 hours because like you come across people that are just so like-minded. 5 drinks later,
Yeah.
you're there for another 5 hours, and like, oh, now you just created, another friend, a best friend. Now everyone's buying shots, and that atmosphere is just like you don't get that anywhere else. You're not getting that in the States. Like this is like these type of intimate moments require people to get out of the confines of their comfort zone and travel overseas to like gain that experience. Where you find people who are more so like you, think along the lines of how you think, and are able to have the kind of fun that you're able to have as well. Because there's a reason why all you guys are in that same environment at the same time right now. Coincidences don't really happen like that. It's just a reason for everything.
True. I met Mayor, and man, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. When especially after the whole Miko thing, Mayor clown. He's always clowning or trolling people, like just crazy on YouTube. Mayor does a good job. I mean, I'm just talking about back in the past, 'cause I haven't watched a lot of his stuff now, but he did a great job being like having like a YouTube character, like a YouTube personality. And sort of separating that from him in person.
Exactly.
In person, dude is down to earth. Dude is like cool. I've seen dude. So while I was there was some other foreigner in trouble with like the police and needed some money. Look, he pushed out some money along with like Flip Flop and some other cats. Pushed out money to help dude in this situation, right? So dude is a really good and giving person. So I remember I was there. Some guy talked to me, was like, man, that Mayor dude, he's this and that, whatever. I was like, look, man, I don't know if you met him in person.
Yeah.
And dude is cool.
Yeah, I met him in person, and the thing is like
on YouTube.
Yeah. The thing is like when I encountered him too, I didn't even like walk up to, he introduced himself to me out of nowhere, because I guess like I look familiar, like I always look like somebody. So like when he went to ask, like that's how the conversation started. But like he did things where like I would have to pay anyone else for, like as far as a service, like to show me around Sosua and Dominican, like usually that would come with a premium, no matter like who it is. Like, oh yeah, you gotta pay me for a tour. He did that, off his own whim, without knowing me through a hole in the wall, and like just seeing how he interacted with the people, the tourists, and everything like that. Like, I thought a lot different of him, as opposed to like my preconceived like thoughts of him like prior to that. Even though I really I didn't have that much of a quarrel with him, but like I've gone to appreciate him more of a person ever since I got to spend that, that time with him.
Exactly. Yeah. And for me, on top of that, I got to appreciate like the separation between like the YouTube personality and like the real dude. Let's see him on YouTube. We see this dude like ashy with the flip flops and like not well kept. Like what is this dude doing? But you meet him in person, I mean, you'll see like the other side. Okay, this dude's a really genuine dude. Okay, maybe he doesn't, he's really enjoying himself out here. Yeah, exactly.
Whereas like after periods and everything. But I guess that's one thing that like this YouTube thing scares me, because like you can play any character you want in this space, right? But I just find it easier. You play yourself. Be yourself, And if because if you don't like me for who I am on YouTube, good, because you're not gonna like me in person. You're not gonna like me any more person. The way I am in person is the same way I am in YouTube, and vice versa. I like to keep it that way, because like I'm not really good with pretending. Even when I'm mad at somebody, my emotions will stay in my face. Whatnot. I'm not in the military anymore, so the band stuff is out the window. Like I like to be very, like, I don't like to hide, how I'm feeling or anything like that. So I like to keep, it open as far as who I am as a person to the public.
And I tell you this, for me personally, I like to be that. I like to be an option for folks. First coming down Santo Domingo, we want to know more about Santo Domingo, about how things go here. I want to be like a resource for those folks, because I was in the chat group. Well, I'm in a chat group, and basically everyone lives in Puerto Plata and Sosúa.
The grunts, right?
I don't get much benefit out of that chat group, but if someone had any questions about Santo Domingo, there you go. And also for the channel, if you have folks that are interested in Santo Domingo, or want to know more about, or want to have a little get together in Santo Domingo, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't see a lot of folks doing content on Santo Domingo.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah, in that space.
Especially like when comparison to that of Puerto Plata or Punta Cana doesn't compare. And this is the capital. This is the thing that kind of blows my mind. It's the capital. Things are actually going on in Santo Domingo. I'm just surprised how it's not being captured. But I think it comes with the fact that English is not utilized here as much as it is in the other places in Dominican Republic. So,
but I do want to say this, Val. A lot of folks know English here.
Of course,
they may speak Spanish and all that stuff. A lot of, especially in those areas where people generally have a higher education.
You're right.
They know. But I also want to say this: there were a lot. And my man Gil said didn't know you were a veteran as well. BakPakVal, Air Force strong.
Yeah.
I do want to say this: a lot of folks here who are Dominican, or maybe Dominican born, or have Dominican heritage who live here, but have roots in the States. A lot of them are veterans. A lot of them are veterans. There's a lot of Dominican, U.S. veterans in Santo Domingo. A lot. So people sleep on that group and sleep on their influence on sort of veteran services in the country.
Yeah, because I know there's a VA office, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, there's no VA office, but there are third-party VA clinics.
Okay.
There's like one or two in Puerto Plata. They have maybe one in Sosúa. There's a couple in Santiago, and quite a few in Santo Domingo. But there's a lot. So therefore, whenever we talk about veterans and U.S. veteran services and support and everything, do not forget that there's a lot of Dominican U.S. veterans in Santo Domingo that have networks, that have influence, and that you living here as a U.S. veteran, you want to get certain things, they can make some things move here.
Wow, and that would skip over my mind. I would never think that for some odd reason.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't think that, but I can't take up any more of your time. Unfortunately, like, I could chat all day. Like
No, no, no,
honestly,
no,
as
no,
far as
no,
like the way things
no
are
problem,
going, man.
brother. No
It's
problem,
far
brother.
from great.
Well,
But thank you again. Like honestly, like this has been a really like great and fruitful conversation, man. Like honestly, like I hope to get you on my panel in
whenever.
the near future, and like I would love to come back on and chat up with you again on another topic, or we could still do all on this topic. It does not matter to me. But I'm really
Whenever,
grateful to
brother.
be on this panel,
You got
getting
my
to
contact. You
speak to
got
my
my
experience.
contact, brother. Whenever you want.
Gotcha.
And I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you sharing your thoughts, your influence. I mean, your experience and your knowledge. And hey, man, thank you. I appreciate that. And
Likewise,
thank you,
man.
chat. Thank you. I'm gonna thank you, Gil, X Strolling,
Yeah.
Ramona. I want to thank Q. I want to thank all of you guys for chiming in. Everyone else who out there that I didn't mention. Thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe to my man BakPakVal. I will pin his YouTube channel in the chat. And please like, share, subscribe.
Get me to 1,000, y'all. That's all I ask, and I'll leave y'all alone. I'll stop asking. Yeah, get me to
Yes, yes. All right. Hey, brother, take it easy. We'll be getting up soon, all right?
You as well, man. Take care.
All right, man. Peace.